for all occasions and for those special holidays. Shop cards and gifts at Moss Bay. Park Lane Mercantile, antiques and much more. For an exciting blend of old and new, visit Park Lane Mercantile at 216 Park Lane. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler.
Hi, I'm Glenn Grant.
Quality antiques and collectibles. Old Heritage Place, where your heritage lives on. Kirkland Furniture, for over 30 years, providing personal service, large selection of name brands, and free delivery. The company to have in your home. Kirkland Sewing Machine and Vacuum Center. The exclusive East Side Bernina dealer offers these tremendous savings now through April 7th. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler. Takes their comics seriously. Fortuna Books on the corner of Central and Lake Street offers a wide selection of used and collectible books, featuring current periodicals as well. The Bookshelf invites you to come browse their special areas: metaphysics, Northwest, sailing, classics, and children's literature. Special orders are welcome. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler.
This is KIRO TV, Channel 7, Seattle.
A leader in telephone information systems.
Affordable with a family-sized LTV at only $165 a month. No money down when you lease from Dick's Cascade Ford. The selection is huge with lots of options. Lease now with no money down at Dick's Cascade Ford on the west side of Bellevue's Auto Row. Ken's Suburban Show and Feld Furniture reduces your cost of living. Ken's warehouse and showrooms are overflowing. Everything in stock must be sold now. If you sit on it, if you sleep on it, if you eat on it, if you walk on it, you'll save on it. Discover tremendous quality from Drexel Heritage, Thomasville, Karastan, and many others now at clearance prices. Shop today for a huge selection for your living room, dining room, and bedroom. Reduce your cost of living now at all Ken Suburban and Ken Show and Feld showrooms.
Downtown Kirkland is giving away a trip to Puerto Vallarta. Visit these fine stores for details. Moss Bay Mercantile, quality men's and women's sample shop with a traditional flavor. By the lake, by the park in downtown Kirkland. Starboard Marine Supply, the East Side's one-stop marine supply store for all your nautical needs, building their reputation on quality and service. Come on down to Outdoor Traders. Camp and Case and Fish and Frank are merchants of fine hiking, angling, and outdoor gear. April sale on now. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler. Temporary Woman, Betty's Apparel on Lake Street. Cards and Gifts at Moss Bay offers a wide selection for all occasions and for those special holidays. Shop Cards and Gifts at Moss Bay. Park Lane Mercantile, antiques and much more. For an exciting blend of old and new, visit Park Lane Mercantile at 216 Park Lane. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler. And enjoy fresh fish specialties. Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler and retail market. Old Heritage Place, the antique mall with a wide selection of quality antiques and collectibles. Old Heritage Place, where your heritage lives on. Genesis makes your memorable event elegant and easy with glamorous romantic fashions for weddings, proms, and after five elegance. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler.
I've learned a lot about plants over the
Neighbors and friends, I want to thank... When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder.
Classic. Prepare yourself for a grueling 26-mile test or a 5-mile fun run. Sunday, April 14th. It's the one to run. Sign up now at participating 7-Eleven stores, Pizza Havens, or Puget Sound BMW dealers. Train now. It could mean thousands in prizes. The 3rd annual Emerald City Marathon Classic, April 14th. The one to run.
Something special happened here. 2 women sat down in this Sunday school with a Bible. Lou was a Vietnamese refugee, a widow with 2 children. She had come to learn English. Mabel was a retired school teacher who saw a new chance to help. Together with the Bible, they studied a language. And Lou found God. Welcome to the Church of the Nazarene. Our church can be your home.
The spirit of the Northwest is KIRO. We're bringing the news home to you. Right by your side, we're sharing your pride. You know that we're gonna come through. We're working together, and that's good news. We're getting together, KIRO and you.
KIRO Eyewitness News and KIRO News Radio 71. the news specialists. It's the bottom of the ninth. The bases are loaded. Sturholm steps up to bat. Sturholm? Yes, KIRO's own Larry Sturholm is trying out for the Mariners. Will he make the team?
He looked pretty good.
Tomorrow at 7, baseball strikes again. Find out why Seattle loves to play ball, how the Mariners survive spring training, and if Larry will make it in the majors. Baseball strikes again, tomorrow at 7 on KIRO TV.
Time now, 19 minutes past the hour.
Ah, those beautiful cherry blossoms. Well, it's time for...
Shop the Fred Meyer Spring Store-Wide Sale, and you'll save in every department. In photo electronics, discover tax time savings with printer calculators from Texas Instruments. Try this easy-to-use calculator with 4-key memory, now $39.97. The TI-5142 Type 3 has special accounting keys and easy-to-read display for only $69.97. Or get this Magnavox personal cassette player with FM radio for only $24.97. Don't miss the Fred Meyer Spring Store-Wide Sale, going on now. On April 14th, 4,000 of your friends and neighbors will go for a run. The run of their lives. It's the Emerald City Marathon. KIRO follows the people in your neighborhood competing in 26.2 miles of exhilaration, exhaustion, and excitement. Who will finish and who will finish first? Join KIRO April 14th for exclusive coverage only on Channel 7.
It's now 24 minutes after the hour.
The bald eagle is making a welcomed comeback in Georgia. A group of young eaglets imported from other states are being used to repopulate the once abundant eagle in the marsh of the Peach State. The majestic birds virtually disappeared over the skies of Georgia in the 1930s and 1940s, largely the result of pesticides used on Georgian farms and plantations. Welcome back. In our next half hour, we'll talk with the president of Tulane University, who's canceled his school's scandal-ridden basketball program for good, plus the comeback of the Commodores, and Peter Boyer on tabloids when the morning news continues. Stay with us.
It's 8:25 in the Pacific Northwest. Good morning. I'm Essex Porter in the Eyewitness Newsroom, and make that 7:25. It's a Friday, and I guess we're trying to get it over with quickly. A Navy ship docked at Bremerton has permission to dump raw sewage into Puget Sound. The sewage will come from the USS Sphinx, a World War II ship being reactivated. The problem is the ship doesn't have the sewage holding tank required by law. The Sphinx got a waiver from the Department of Defense, making it legal for the ship to dump thousands of gallons of raw sewage into the water. The dumping could begin when the ship's 100 crew members move aboard next week. The EPA says the Navy has offered to avoid the dumping by installing porta potties on the top decks of the ship. The Sphinx will be at Bremerton until May. Seattle firefighters are still keeping a close watch over a leaking railroad tank car in the Interbay area. Fire crews pumped 33,000 gallons of poisonous anhydrous ammonia out of the tanker last night. Now they're working to keep toxic fumes from accumulating in the empty car. The leak was small and no one was hurt. And there's another problem in Puget Sound this morning. A big, ugly ship has been anchored off Bainbridge Island for more than a year. The owner of the old ship says he'll turn it into a fish processor someday. In the meantime, the Rose Knot is ruining the view for quite a few people. Anita Williamson has the story.
It was built as a cargo vessel in the 1940s and used as a Navy spy ship during World War II. But today, the Rose Knot's reputation is as tarnished as its hull. The owners moored the ship at Port Blakely a year ago. Residents in that area say dumped is a more appropriate description. They say the ship is an eyesore, a blemish on their otherwise beautiful waterfront.
It's both an eyesore and a hazard. That was... we feel it negatively impacts our property value.
The Rose Knot's moorage here may be unattractive to some, but it isn't breaking any laws. Tonight, residents from that area presented their arguments to have the laws changed. The state and Kitsap County are now considering adding an amendment to the current shoreline management laws. The amendment would tighten the restrictions for moorage of commercial vessels. The Rose Knot was clearly the target of attack. But owner John Hoff spoke in defense of the Rose Knot. He says the ship doesn't deserve the kind of criticism it's received.
Do you think it's an eyesore?
Not at all. That's, of course, is something in the eye of the beholder. And these people that think it's an eyesore, you go in their living room and you probably find a vessel, a picture of a vessel hanging up there.
All of the usual official steps have to be taken before making a decision on the amendment. In other words, the Rose Knot isn't going anywhere anytime soon. In Kitsap County, Anita Williamson, KIRO Eyewitness News.
We'll have a look at the weather forecast in a minute.
Datsun's by the truckload, so many that this weekend we'll even pay you to buy a new Datsun. Imagine even the scarce 300ZX. You pay down up to $2,500 in cash or trade, and we'll match it. Your $2,500 and our $2,500, you've got $5,000 down. That means low, low payments. Rather have a 200SX? Put down up to $1,500 in cash or trade, we'll match it. Come see us this weekend, and we'll make you a matching down payment offer on every new car in stock. This weekend, get 8.8% financing on every new Nissan pickup. You can call us Datsun or Nissan. You can definitely call us the import dealer really willing to deal.
Today, while you're working, we're working, bringing the news home to you. The KIRO Evening News with Gary Justice, tonight at 6:30.
It looks like we're going to have good weather just in time for the weekend. We'll start out with cloudy skies this morning and a chance of rain. The high temperature will be just above 60 degrees. But the clouds will break up overnight, and we can expect mostly sunny skies on Saturday. Temperatures on Saturday will be near 70. The only thing wrong with the forecast, a slight chance of thunder showers on Saturday afternoon. Right now, the temperature in downtown Seattle is 41 degrees, more at 8:25.
It's Washington's biggest sale on America's hottest cars. Hundreds of America's most exciting cars on sale tomorrow by your all-pro Pontiac team. Fieros, 6000s, Grand Ams, all specially ordered and priced. A rainbow of colors, a world of equipment, but best of all, you can buy the Pontiac you always wanted for what you'd expect to pay for an ordinary car.
At Valley, Zarin, Hazelwood, Clyde, Revord, Valley I-5, Alderwood, Wyland, Cornforth, Baldwin, and Ash. Catch the excitement.
Downtown Kirkland is giving away a trip to Puerto Vallarta. Visit these fine stores for details. Dock at the wharf tonight and enjoy fresh fish specialties. Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler and retail market. Old Heritage Place, the antique mall with a wide selection of quality antiques and collectibles. Old Heritage Place, where your heritage lives on. Genesis makes your memorable event elegant and easy with glamorous romantic fashions for weddings, proms, and after-5 elegance. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler.
KIRO TV, Channel 7, Seattle. It's 7:30.
The CBS Morning News with Bill Curtis and Phyllis George continues.
Basketball may be dead forever at Tulane University. In a way, it may have committed suicide in a scandal over point shaving and pay for players. The man who issued the death warrant was Tulane's president.
Rutherford, Walter Schirra, Virgil Gus Grissom, John Glenn Jr., Gordon Cooper, and Malcolm Scott Carpenter. The test pilots were part of Project Mercury, America's first manned spaceflight program that got underway in 1958.
Register for space trivia in the men's department at the Bon and win a trip on British Airways Supersonic Concorde.
Now, Estee Lauder helps skin care become skin repair with her Night Repair. Laboratory tests show that this exclusive formula helps your skin restore itself as you sleep. At night, all night, every night. There has never been another beauty treatment like it. Estee Lauder's Night Repair. Use it nightly and wake up to better-looking skin. Night Repair. Now in the cosmetic department at the Bond.
Could you use an extra $5,000 cash? We'll provide it for you. This weekend, buy or lease any car, new or used, from Renton Chrysler Plymouth only, and we'll establish a future security account with a federally insured savings and loan. And at maturity, you can pick up your check for $5,000 cash. Guaranteed. Buy a boat, pay for college, buy a mink, take a trip, whatever. $5,000 cash is yours. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, buy or lease any car only at Renton Chrysler Plymouth, and you'll have an extra $5,000 to spend. Thank you, America, from the largest Chrysler Plymouth dealer in the Northwest.
Chocolate, your diet, and you. 4:30 Friday.
Good morning. I'm Bill Curtis.
And I'm Phyllis George. In our spotlight this half hour, new methods of adoption to get around the awfully long wait through traditional means. Also ahead, the Eternal Life Gospel Singers. Wait till you hear them to mark this Good Friday.
I love gospel. I love the Eternal Life. A little later, Pat is going to have her weekend preview, including Judy Garland's Easter Parade. And the latest in spring fashions for children, all ahead this Friday coming up, April 5th. In the news this morning, President Reagan has a new peace plan.
On sailboats or Lake Union houseboats. Everything you put into a shoreline IRA is tax deductible and your interest is tax deferred. And there are no setup or annual fees. Shoreline Savings, with an unbroken profit record for over 30 years and experts in IRA retirement scrapbooks.
At QFC, we'd like to fill your Easter basket with the wonderful fresh produce that helps signal the coming of spring. California Ruby Grapefruit is here at 6 for $1. Imperial seedless grapes, just 98 cents a pound. And some of the first asparagus of the season, 99 cents a pound. Our Easter hams are Maple River whole boneless hams, $1.45 a pound. And we're also featuring frozen shrimp meat, $2.99 a pound. From your friendly fillers of Easter baskets, QFC.
A house alone has little meaning. It's the people who live there who bring it to life.
The Waltons, the first and still the best program for the entire family. Make the daily lives of the Waltons a part of yours. Today at 9 on KIRO TV.
I will never forget the people in that house. I can still hear their voices.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Ben. Good night, Jim Bob.
The Waltons, today at 9 on KIRO TV.
Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Grandpa. Good night, Aaron.
For the Lord, He is great, and He's worthy to be praised. Magnify Him and lift Him up. Lift Him up. For the Lord, He is great, and He's worthy to be praised. Magnify Him and lift Him up. Lift Him up. Lift up the For the Lord, He is great, and He's worthy to.
If you sleep on it, if you eat on it, if you walk on it, you'll save on it. Discover tremendous quality from Drexel Heritage, Thomasville, Karastan, and many others now at clearance prices. Shop today for a huge selection for your living room, dining room, and bedroom. Reduce your cost of living now at all Ken Suburban and Ken Schoenfeld showrooms.
If you're ready to give the man in your life a diamond, Fred Meyer Jewelers challenges you to shop the other jewelry stores first. Then come to Fred Meyer for consistent quality and affordable prices. Right now, all men's diamond rings are 25% off. You'll save $299 on this distinctive quarter-carat ring. And look for men's diamond accessories, too. Diamonds from a woman to a man at Fred Meyer Jewelers, the Northwest's largest jeweler.
The news is sponsored in part by AA Rentals, the best in rental equipment.
It's 8:25 on a Friday. I'm Essex Porter in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Trespassing charges against anti-apartheid demonstrators in Seattle might be dropped today. A municipal court judge wants honorary South African consul Joseph Swing to answer questions in court about the demonstrations at his home, but so far he has refused. Seattle fire crews pumped 33,000 gallons of poisonous anhydrous ammonia out of a leaking railroad tank car last night. Now they're working to keep the toxic fumes from accumulating in the empty car. The leak was small and no one was hurt. A Portland man believes he has a better way to save lives. It's with a new, compact, lightweight stretcher. Chris Lagares has the story. We'll have a look at the weather forecast in a minute.
When my arthritis pain acts up, it hurts. But I know how to fight back. Instead of aspirin, I have Advil for hours of relief from minor arthritis pain. Advil contains a non-prescription strength of ibuprofen. That's the medicine found in the prescription brand Motrin. Just one Advil is as effective as 2 regular aspirin, yet gentler to the stomach than aspirin. If aspirin allergic before taking Advil, ask your doctor. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
You can rent a backhoe, or you can rent a plow. And if you want to spray your house, be glad to show you how. 'Cause we're A.A. Reynolds, the song we love to sing. We're A.A. Reynolds, and we rent most everything.
When you have a job to do around the house or out in the yard, A.A. Reynolds or Annex Rents has exactly what you need. We'll even teach you how.
'Cause we're A.A. Reynolds, the song
Need
we
it?
love to sing.
Rent it, with 9 locations to serve you. On April 14th, 4,000 of your friends and neighbors will go for a run. The run of their lives, the Emerald City Marathon, only on KIRO TV, Channel 7.
Darrington officials may ask Snohomish County to declare a state of emergency so something can be done about a leaking dam just outside the town. While the danger of flooding has now lessened, the town needs $350,000 to fix the dam. If the town declares a state of emergency, it may become eligible for state or federal money to help. That boa constrictor missing from the Pacific Science Center may have been found. Sophie was stolen Wednesday night. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office went to the home of a Spanaway family last night after the mother found a 6-foot snake under the bed of her son. That snake is now in the Tacoma Humane Society, and we'll find out later today if it's Sophie. Whether you're celebrating Passover or Easter, there should be some good weather this weekend. We'll start out with cloudy skies this morning and a chance of rain. The high temperature will be just above 60 degrees. The clouds will break up overnight, and we can expect mostly sunny skies on Saturday. Temperatures on Saturday will be near 70. About the only thing wrong with that forecast is a slight chance of thunder showers on Saturday afternoon. Right now, the temperature in downtown Seattle is 42 degrees. Have a good weekend and a good morning.
The work each of us does is more than a job. It is an opportunity to build a better world, filled with peace and justice. Whoever you are, whatever you do, if you want peace, work for justice. Campaign for Human Development, United States Catholic Conference.
The spirit of the Northwest is KIRO. We're part of your life every way. Getting to know you and sharing your dreams. Working together each day. We're working together. And that's good news. We're getting together. KIRO and you.
Don't you just love that alley cat? Don't you just love that alley cat? He's charming, disarming, knows just where it's at.
New Alley Cat brand cat food.
Don't you just love that alley cat?
Just good cat food.
KIRO TV, Channel 7, Seattle. It's 8:30.
The CBS Morning News with Bill Curtis and Phyllis George continues.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Today is the start of a long holiday weekend. For us, that's an opportunity to bring you Pat Collins' Weekend Entertainment Guide.
Some were too small, some too slow, and some just didn't have the weapons to fight back. Until Wang. Wang mini computers have the firepower to blow IBM data processing right out of the office. Just give us a shot. Wang. We're gunning for IBM.
What I tell my friends is, I buy Stouffer's lean cuisine because it's always less than 300 calories. And it's low in fat. And it makes it easy to watch your weight. And it's a very good idea to eat light. But I have to confess, that's not really why I buy it. I buy it for the taste.
Lean cuisine entrees from Stouffer's. It's not just the calories that count, it's the taste.
There's a name known around the world.
Peach or Africa? Just coffee. The silk chemise? The what? Your fall collection. Remember why we're here?
It's used more than any other.
You know, I thought Frenchmen were short.
For travel, shopping, entertaining, and cash.
Service wasn't much. Speak for yourself.
Visa is welcome in any language.
Then you leave the tip.
It's all you need.
Teleflora presents the Easter Caddy Bouquet. It comes with flowers, and then you can fill it with almost anything. The Easter Caddy Bouquet from Teleflora. Call or visit your local florist. Send one anywhere.
The time now, 36 minutes past the hour.
Phyllis has her own Easter parade that's going to be coming up in just a minute.
That's right.
But so does young Steve here.
We've got another one of those sure signs of Easter that I want you to take a look at. If you're anywhere around New York City, you may see a beautiful display. You can see this beautiful field of lilies. And this is the Channel Gardens at Rockefeller Center. And let me see if I can name a few more. The mums are there, and hyacinths, and rhododendrons. Not too bad, but nice things going on there. For 30 years now, they've had the annual Easter egg rolling contest. They're going to have that tomorrow, but they're wooden eggs.
Where is
Can you believe
this?
that?
At Rockefeller?
Rockefeller Center.
Oh, that's
with
a
wooden
good place
eggs.
to take children.
They don't crack. And
That's
get on
one
your
way to
nose.
avoid that, but expect to see about 1,000 to 2,000 people lined up to see that. What kind of weather will you have starting today? Well, it should be some sunny skies along the East Coast. The arrows on that map mean that the southerly breezes are taking over, and if you're visiting Richmond, Virginia, for instance, 89 degrees, not out of the question for mid-afternoon, 85 degrees around Charlotte, North Carolina, down through South Carolina, Georgia, really warm weather. But then thunderstorms and rain take over, and that line extends from western Pennsylvania and New York all the way through the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Some of those thunderstorms could be...
Good afternoon. No reports of injuries. I hope that situation remains for that part of the country where it doesn't get too severe, but the thunder showers will be firing up down there. Temperatures are going to be firing up in the southeast today. 82 expected around Miami Beach today. 84 in the nation's capital, where our friend Daryl David is. How quickly we forget when they leave. Very cool around the northern section of states, 43 around Minneapolis, St. Paul, and they're getting some wintry weather across the northern plains today. Snow still moving across that part of the country. Another very warm day across the southwest, 76 in Los Angeles, 91 in Phoenix, 75, but a few clouds around Honolulu. We had a few clouds this morning. What about right now? Let's take a look at SeaTac conditions. Still a bit cloudy out at the airport. Our current temperature, though, is warming up, 51 degrees. The relative humidity is 71%. Northeasterly winds at 6, and we do have a steady barometer, steady at 30.18 inches of mercury. And this is really a very nice satellite picture to talk about as we go into a weekend, because you'll notice a lot of clearing offshore. Look very, very closely, and you'll see a little bit of cloudiness still around the western half of our state, but eastern Washington very clear. We had a very weak disturbance move through overnight, gave us a little more than drizzle and a little bit of an increase in the marine flow, so we did have some fog this morning. Things are going to be clearing that out, though, as that high pressure takes over. Down around Oregon now, it's going to be building to the north. It's going to give us a beautiful day on Saturday with temperatures much warmer. The air is going to be a lot drier. Sunday is still looking pretty good, too, but we might get a little bit of patchy clouds on Easter Sunday. Still looking pretty good, though. Here's a look at the mountain forecast for today. Partly sunny skies in the Cascades and the Olympics, and we'll find afternoon pass temperatures today in the 40s. Tomorrow, right near 50 degrees, so quite a bit warmer. Freezing levels about 5,500 feet, and we'll have light westerly winds. What's happening in eastern Washington? Well, lots of sunshine already. They don't have to wait until afternoon. They're getting it right now. And they are finding temperatures today anywhere from about the upper 50s to around 70 degrees around the southeastern part of the state. Overnight temperatures lower 30s to about 45 degrees. Our overnight lows will be just about the same. We won't be quite as warm, but we will find daytime highs about the mid-50s to the mid-60s, and a partly sunny afternoon is on the way. Here's a look at the local forecast for the Puget Sound region, and it'll be partly sunny with highs today right near 60 degrees. Overnight temperatures in the lower 40s and light and variable winds. And here is the long-range forecast. Looking good Saturday, looking good Sunday. Monday is looking dry and mild, with the chance of a few showers not coming until Tuesday. And I think we can take that question mark away from Sunday on the showers. I mean, it's an outside possibility, but really I think it'll be just a few patchy clouds So no hint that you'll have to cancel the Easter egg hunt or wear a plastic rain hat over the Easter bonnet. It's looking very good. And temperatures will be very warm over the weekend.
And you're ready with your new Easter suit, it looks like.
That's right. I just need a red bonnet. Right?
Thanks, Mickey. It's time now for our Friday look at what's happening in the world of sports. And topping our news today, the end of a 7-game losing streak for the Seattle Supersonics. Sonics came up with that victory last night in Salt Lake City against the Utah Jazz. The final, 119 to 117, a close one. Much of the credit for that win goes to Sonic Al Wood, who pulled in a career-high 32 points. Tom Chambers led Sonic scoring with 34 points. The Supersonics are now 31 and 46 for the year. Tonight, the Sonics face the Trailblazers in Portland. There's another sad chapter to add today to the Tulane University basketball scandal. In the wake of the point-shaving scandal and the discovery of NCAA violations, the university is dropping men's basketball immediately and permanently. Yesterday, a grand jury in New Orleans handed out 19 counts of sports bribery indictments. Those indictments against 3 Tulane players, 3 Tulane students, and 2 outsiders. In addition, a second 9-count indictment named a student was selling cocaine to 3 team members. Well, let's go from a scandal in college sports to a real success story now. It's not very often that one college athlete is named to all conference teams in basketball and football. Don Johnson of Angelo State is one such standout. Chad Allen has a report.
6'5", 235-pound Don Johnson was an intimidating force on the basketball court this season. The junior was one of the leading rebounders in the Lone Star Conference, averaging nearly 10 a game. And he was a second-team all-conference pick this year. Watching Johnson, you'd think he was a football player. Well, he is. In fact, he was an all-conference selection at offensive tackle in 1984. Football is his scholarship sport. Johnson decided to try out for the basketball team on the recommendation of a teammate.
I was playing intramural basketball, and Kenny Smith, he had been looking at me. He said, you ought to try out for the basketball team. He said, I had a pretty good game. Coach, we need a big man.
Angelo State basketball coach Ed Messbarger was a bit surprised at how well Johnson fit into the program.
To throw somebody into the situation that we threw him into, as early as we threw him into, with the competition that we were playing early in the season, yes, that totally surprised me that he could rebound, that he could score, and that he could do these kind of things.
And what does Johnson's football coach think of his tackle's winter moonlighting?
Well, it was great. It was kind of surprising to start with. You don't normally expect an offensive tackle to go right off the football field and make a contribution on the basketball court. But there are not many kids anymore that will play 2 sports in college or 3 sports or whatever.
Johnson was an all-state discus thrower in high school, but he says 2 college sports are enough. As far as the future, Cincinnati and Dallas of the NFL have contacted him about a possible tryout after graduation. In San Angelo, Texas, I'm Chad Allen for CBS News.
If Johnson is ever ready for that 3rd sport, we're just 4 days away from baseball's opening day. The Seattle Mariners this afternoon are playing their final spring training game in Tempe, Arizona. That's against their AAA Calgary team. This weekend, the team hits the road for a couple of exhibition games with the Chicago Cubs, and that takes place in Denver. Coming up next, the incredible decoratable egg.
Plaza, your taste is our business. From Christian books and gifts to women's apparel to works of art from around the world. But most of all, because Bellevue Plaza is 5 great restaurants with a shopping center in between. Stuart Anderson's Black Angus restaurant, the Patisserie and Cafe for desserts and sandwiches, the Phoenix Garden Cantonese restaurant, Giuseppe's traditional Italian cuisine, and the Shanghai Mandarin restaurant. Bellevue Plaza, 5 great restaurants with a shopping center in between.
What's so remarkable about this chair? It's the Contour Chair Lounge, and I think it's the most comfortable, most relaxing chair made in the world today. Unlike any ordinary angular chair or sofa, the Contour Chair cradles you in body-supporting comfort. And the Contour Chair is adjustable, actually moves from full upright to full feet-up position at the touch of a button. You can also get this remarkable chair with built-in heat and massage units for maximum health benefits. Beautiful and affordable, the Contour Chair is scientifically designed by medical professionals to help ease simple tension and fatigue and relieve common everyday aches and pains. Get this free catalog by mail about all of the sizes, options, and colors available to you in a Contour Chair Lounge. Call this toll-free number to receive your free catalog. There's no obligation.
In the U.S., call toll-free 1-800-228-5111. That's 1-800-228-5111. In Canada, call 112-800-268-6365.
Imagine you're at a party. It's getting late. One of the guests has had a few drinks and now wants to drive home. But his friends don't want him to. They try to stop him. They even try to take his keys away, but he won't let them. Nobody's going to tell him he can't drive. Yet he does, and he kills somebody. He killed somebody because he had been drinking and then got into his car and drove. If only he would have listened to his friends.
The simple egg gets a lot of attention this time of year. Children and adults dye the eggs different colors as part of the Easter celebration. But for our next guest, egg coloring is a year-round tradition. She's Lydia Gladstone, and you're a Ukrainian egg decorator. Must admit, I've never heard of somebody called that.
Actually, the art of the pisanki, as this art is called, is a Ukrainian tradition among the Ukrainian women. A Ukrainian woman will do that every spring before Easter. There is, of course, a certain tradition involved in it, whereby the lady goes to all her friends and relatives and asks them to forgive her for any insults that she might have incurred upon them. And then she would go to church and confess, and after that she would clean her house and prepare a nice dinner, and only when everything is settled would she start making the eggs.
And now you do them just for fun and to carry on the tradition also, huh?
It started actually as a tradition every Easter, but the demand for this type of art has been so great that we have been doing it all year round.
And they're not extremely they are fragile, but not like you would expect. Tell us how it's done.
Actually, it is done by the batik method. You take an egg and you apply wax on the surface of the egg. And you dye the egg from the lightest color to the darkest, each time sealing the pattern with beeswax. And this is the way that you apply the beeswax on the egg to seal the pattern. And after you have gone through all this process by applying the wax and sealing or blocking off the pattern in each color, you come up with an egg like this. It looks dark and awesome. But
so you have your egg, and then these are more laminated looking, shinier finish.
They are, really. But you see, the wax is on the egg and it has sealed all the light patterns. And by taking the egg and holding it next to the candle and melting off the wax.
Oh, it looks like you're going to lose your design.
Isn't it? Yes. But the wax has melted and you have a clear pattern. All the light patterns that you have sealed with wax appear on a contrasting background.
Beautiful.
Yes, and after you have removed the wax, you varnish the egg with a clear varnish, which brings out the pattern.
So Lydia, it sounds like a tremendous amount of effort. What's the time that goes into coming up with one of these eggs?
It all depends. A simple egg like this
doesn't look simple to me.
It takes about 3/4 of an hour. An egg like this might take you 2 days. It all depends upon the intricacy of the pattern. The symbols or the patterns are traditional and they all have a meaning. They're all symbolic.
That egg in your hand, for instance, what does that mean?
This is an egg that comes from the Carpathian region, the patterns. It stands for success. You have a reindeer in the middle, and livestock meant success, wealth. You also have triangles, which stand for the Trinity. And you have a sieve within the triangle, which stands for the ability to sift the right from wrong. Interesting. So depending upon the symbols that you put upon the egg, you would choose the recipient of the egg. You would give an egg with fir branches to a person who is sick, because evergreen branches mean health, good health.
Tell me about the eggs in this area. Is there a lot of need for them? Are you teaching people how to do this?
Yes, I do have workshops. I am sponsored by the King County Arts Commission to give workshops throughout King County and the adjoining counties.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It kind of adds a little flair to our look at Easter here.
Oh, thank you.
And I must admit, I might have to pocket one of these, because around our house we still do the traditional dyeing, and we still have a contest. And, you know, we wake up on Easter morning and the Easter Bunny has lined up his favorite, and I'll surprise them all with this.
Well, you can purchase these at Northgate. We are at Northgate for today and tomorrow yet, and of course at Bellevue at the Beaumarchais. We are going to be there tomorrow afternoon. So you still can purchase these.
Okay, thank you so much, Lydia.
Thank you for having me.
Easter is not the only holiday coming up this weekend, and next we'll take a look at Passover.
Henry, did I hear you're flying first class?
Oh, it's AirCal's almost first-class service. It's really great. They give you first-class legroom, delicious meals, even complimentary champagne and wine.
So, you're flying almost first class at company expense?
But it costs exactly the same as coach on PSA or United.
Henry.
At the same price.
I'll be taking that business trip.
Why have it tough? AirCal's almost first-class service. We make flying easy.
Because I had...
Let's see, what do I want to eat this week? Something light. Something healthy.
Vandecamp's new light fillets.
But it's got to taste great.
They taste remarkably fresh because they're frozen fresh, and they're lightly breaded, so each thick fillet has less than 300 calories.
Oh, I'm going to need a lot more lemon.
Vandecamp's, the freshest ideas in frozen fish.
Save money on long-distance. AT&T says call after 11 p.m. Very smart, AT&T. All I know is if my phone rings after 11, it's either a wrong number or a very cheap friend. So to save money on your out-of-state calls anytime with no restrictions before and after 11, I say switch to MCI. You'll sleep much better. Hello? Heidi! She's so cheap.
Call MCI and start saving over AT&T on all your out-of-state calls before as well as after 11 p.m.
For the past 25 years, when it's important, you've seen it on CBS and KIRO TV. The tradition continues with Gary Justice, weeknights with the KIRO Evening News at 6:30. The CBS Evening News with Dan Rather at 6 o'clock. The KIRO Evening News with Gary Justice and the news specialists at 6:30. Following a great tradition.
Close to 2 million children in America disappear or are abducted each year. KIRO TV, KIRO News Radio 71, KSEA EZ 101, and Safeway want to help prevent these abductions. Each week, look for a cartoon in your local newspaper featuring a safety tip easily understood by children. When your youngsters color the cartoons, they learn how to avoid dangerous situations. This week's safety tip, have a secret family code word. Look for the safety tips and help your children to help themselves.
We've been talking a lot about Easter, but today also marks the beginning of a special celebration for Jews around the world. Passover begins tonight at sunset, and our guest today is Rabbi Raphael Levine, and he's here to tell us about the special celebration of Passover.
The reason it starts in the evening is in the Jewish tradition, the day begins at sunset and goes on to the next day. In other words, our days begin in the evening, because that's the way it was in the book of Genesis.
And we're talking about something that started 3,000 years ago. How is it celebrated today?
Well, actually, it was 3,500 years ago. That's when the Hebrews, slaves in Egypt, were delivered by Moses. And the first night of the Passover, that's where the Passover started. The word Passover comes from the Paschal lamb that was sacrificed after they were delivered from Egypt.
And how do you celebrate?
Well, you mean today or in the ancient times?
Today.
Today. Today, it's usually a family gathering. And in many ways, it has a resemblance to Christmas because the Passover is one of the holidays that children who are separated all over the country come to the family to celebrate, just like they do at Christmas time or Easter time. And we celebrate it by reciting the Haggadah, which is a book that tells the story of the deliverance. And we have, as traditions, 4 cups of wine. They represent and symbolize the 4 promises that God gave to the people before he delivered them. They're different expressions of the deliverance. And we go through, and then it's largely a children's festival. And it was intended in more later times to teach children the story of the deliverance from Egypt.
And we certainly thank you for coming to teach us today about some of the celebration coming up. We just thank you for coming today.
Yes, yes.
It's been interesting to learn about that, and have a very pleasant Passover weekend.
Do you want to know something about the Seder?
Well, I'm sorry,
about
but
the Passover?
I think we've run out of time.
Oh, okay.
But I'll catch up on that in the commercial. Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay.
And coming up, what would Easter be without chocolate and candy eggs? Coming up next, we'll see what's selling this year.
It's the bottom of the 9th. The bases are loaded. Sturholm steps up to bat. Sturholm? Yes, KIRO's own Larry Sturholm is trying out for the Mariners. Will he make the team? He looked pretty good. Tomorrow at 7, baseball strikes again. Find out why Seattle loves to play ball, how the Mariners survive spring training, and if Larry will make it in the majors. Baseball strikes again. Tomorrow at 7 on KIRO TV.
H&R Block found Marjorie Abraham a tax refund of $384.
I couldn't have done it without you.
H&R Block found Dennis Lane $1,249.
And I could have done without you.
Now, we can't promise everyone a refund, but if you've got one coming, we'll guarantee to find you the biggest refund, or your return is free.
I couldn't have done it without you. H&R Block, we guarantee you the biggest refund you have coming, or your return is free.
Those dried, burned, fried tough jobs. You wouldn't even try your dishwashing liquid without a scrubber ball. So we put a scrubber ball and a million of its friends inside your dishwashing liquid to make Cinch, the only one with scrubbers built in to clean the tough jobs out. You cinch straight from the bottle on tough jobs like burnt gravy. Other liquids slip and slide, while Cinch is working like a scrubber ball to take away even this burnt mess. Cinch cleans tough jobs so much better than any other dishwashing liquid, you might forget it is a dishwashing liquid. But it is. Cinch, the only one with scrubbers built in to clean the tough jobs out. And if you've got a dishwasher, you know it can't always handle tough jobs. You need a dishwashing liquid that can. You need Cinch. Because Cinch has a million scrubbers built in to clean tough jobs your dishwasher can't.
And as I was talking with the rabbi during the commercial, he did want to remind you that if you are celebrating the Jewish holiday of Passover, it's time to clean your home of unleavened bread and other leavened foods today. I'm sorry, you want to be ready for the Seder, which is the Passover meal beginning tonight, and that celebration lasts for 8 days. And the Easter season has changed a lot for our commentator Lou Guzzo. Today he joins us to reminisce about his childhood.
I will that, Kathy. I grew up in Cleveland's very Italian and very Catholic community. Before you could proclaim joy to the world on Easter, you had to get through a rather severe Lent. Ours was a national Italian church. Most services and sermons were in Italian, but English was heard on occasion. In those days, you made the mission, as it was said, every weeknight of Lent. A special contingent of Italian priests came in to confront the sinners, and they were rough and tough. I remember my mother crying very often on those evenings, and I don't think she ever committed a sin in her life. You could get bawled out in Italian on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and in English the other 2 nights. Parties and weddings were out, and you sang, played, or danced at your own risk. I liked Palm Sunday best, I think. After church, we sat at the table watching my father weave palms into intricate little baskets and animal figures. On this day, Good Friday, you were in church from noon to 3 in that neighborhood in prayer or else. In Little Italy, you took fasting very seriously in those days. That's when I first learned about the tuna fish sandwich. We were really ready for Easter in more ways than religious devotion. For me, the holiday began really at noon on Saturday, the moment the Lenten fast ended. Mom's sausage pies were really worth fasting for. With all that austerity behind us, Easter Sunday truly became a joyous celebration. It was also the day the neighborhood papas finally made it to Mass, the first and only time of the year, and with a shirt and a tie. And everybody loved everybody else, for a day at least. Happy Easter. I'm Lou Guzzo.
Thanks, Lou. I remember that fasting. I used to give up chocolate all the time for Lent and looked forward to every Easter Sunday morning getting up and going and finding that Easter basket.
It was successful for you, but obviously not for me.
And answering my Easter wish this year, we have Dana Davenport from Dilettante Chocolates. And I haven't been fasting, I must admit. I don't give up chocolate anymore. It's just too tough, all these good treats around. What's selling this year?
Well, probably our best seller is a little half-shelled egg. This is a Swiss tradition in chocolate.
Oh, that looks just great. We do want to get a microphone on you so everybody out there can hear you. Oh, we're having a few problems now. And I have to sit here and stare at this beautifully wrapped basket that looks so delicious.
Well, you know, people get a little sidetracked when chocolate is around. I become very secondary. I understand.
The crew was too busy staring at the chocolate to put a mic on, right? Anyway, so you can continue. I like the looks of this chocolate bunny here. Are they making them solid these days?
Well,
that certainly is.
This one is. We make all of ours solid. I always remember as a child, whenever we got into the bunny and it was hollow, it was a tremendous disappointment. So remembering that, we decided to do all our molds solid.
Give me an idea, though, how much this chocolate bunny, for instance, solid would...
This is about, this is a $20 bunny. This little one here, he's in a car, he's about $8. And this is really our prize. This is how you do.
An Easter piñata or what?
This is the solid egg. Now just take a good hard whack sharply right on it.
Boy,
go ahead.
I don't know, I'm afraid I might break your plate.
That's
there.
all right. No, you got to do a little harder. There you go.
Boy.
Perfect.
Oh, isn't that great?
And then you're full of chocolates on the inside.
Now, I do get to taste one now, though, after all that hard work.
Well, I should hope so.
Well, that's just great.
These are truffles and buttercreams.
So how is the Easter season business-wise these days? Are you finding that the Easter bunny is still alive and well?
Very alive and well. Absolutely. This is a good time of year for us.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and you always bring and leave such wonderful treats.
Well,
Happy
you for
Easter.
having us.
And we'll have a final look at our questionable weekend weather next, and we'll have a snapshot on Old Snapshot.
California's plumpest pitted prune introduces Sunsweet and Cheese. Sunsweet, the plumper, the better.
There's fresh, and there's fresh, and then there's fresh.
This is Jim French. This afternoon on KIRO Midday, how a person recovered from a brain injury and got back to work. It's a heartwarming story and an inside peek at some of the things that go on in the legislature.
Jim French, fresh, midday, every day, 9:30 to 3:30 on KIRO News Radio 71.
On the all-new $100,000 Name That Tune, you'll meet many interesting contestants.
Everyone's going to know me as Annie on her fanny.
They're kind and sincere.
Alfred, I can name that tune in 4 notes.
I'm shaking. I'm sweating.
They're always calm and collected. The all-new $100,000 Name That Tune, weekdays at 3, only on KIRO TV, Channel 7.
Well, if you've set aside the chocolate and are putting the finishing touches on a big holiday meal, our greengrocer has an idea. Joe Carcione says Easter is asparagus time. Today, he shows us the 2 different types.
70 years or so ago, white asparagus was very, very popular, and the green asparagus was very, very scarce. However, things are just in reverse now. The green asparagus is very, very popular, and the white asparagus is very, very scarce. As a matter of fact, very little asparagus, white asparagus, is grown in the United States. Now, folks, the white asparagus and the green asparagus, believe it or not, are the same varieties. The only thing they're grown differently. For example, if you want to get white asparagus, it's grown underground. The farmers bank the soil up in long rows about 7 or 8 inches high, and then the asparagus grows up through the soil, and the minute the tip of the asparagus shows through the soil, then they get a knife and they dig down about 12 inches and cut the asparagus. Now, as far as the green asparagus, it's allowed to grow above the ground, and it grows up about 9 or 10 inches, and then they take a knife and they cut about 2 inches under the ground, and that's your green asparagus. Now, folks, let me tell you something. When it comes to white asparagus, you can put it in plastic trays or in a plastic bag, and it'll keep for a couple of weeks in refrigeration. The tips will remain nice and firm. But if you did that with the green asparagus, why, the tips would rot. It wouldn't be so good. If you want to keep green asparagus in your refrigerator, put it in a plastic bag, stand it up, have a little moisture on the bottom, leave the bag open. The asparagus will keep for at least 1 week. This is Joe Carcione, your greengrocer, with your tip for the day.
Keeping food in mind, all this week on Eyewitness News at 4:30, we've seen how what we eat affects us. And with Easter upon us, what better time than today to talk about what chocolate can do to you? I've already seen what can do to a crew in here. Everybody's over there eating the dilettante chocolates. Anyway, that's coming up at 4:30 today. Then on Eyewitness News at 5, the latest on our talk about raising taxes to bail out the state government. Plus, we'll update the tale of the Pacific Science Center's stolen boa constrictor. It's all ahead later today on Eyewitness News. And we want to check in with Mickey, and you've got to try one of these chocolates when you're done. And I did want to mention...
I've got to wait?
Well, for the people celebrating Passover, they are kosher.
Wonderful. So a blessed Passover and a happy Easter to a lot of people who are wanting to delve into chocolate like me. Let's wait on this and we'll get into weather first. And it is a wonderful tale to tell. We have high pressure building out there in the eastern Pacific. Take a look at the local satellite picture. It's right around Oregon, but it'll be building to the north, and that's going to guarantee us some drier, warmer air. We'll have partly sunny skies this afternoon. By Saturday, though, we're looking for mostly sunny around the Puget Sound region, also around eastern Washington, too. And Sunday is looking good, too. Maybe a few clouds moving in on Sunday, but fair skies over the weekend. Here's a look at today's Puget Sound forecast. Partly sunny. Today's high about 60 degrees. Tonight's low in the lower 40s, light and variable winds. And because I like to talk about how good this weekend's going to be, let's take a look at the 5 days. In the long-range forecast, Saturday and Sunday are going to be so nice. And I think we can take away that chance of showers on Sunday. Just a few clouds should be moving in on Sunday, dry and mild on Monday, and just a chance of showers on Tuesday. And the temperatures warming up to the upper 60s on Saturday, maybe even close to 70 degrees, a little bit cooler on Sunday. But get out that spring attire because you're going to need it. Now the chocolate.
And we know everybody will have their cameras out. And, you know, snapshots are something we tend to take for granted. But 100 years ago, getting your picture taken was a big deal. Ed Ross has this look at some real old pictures.
Daguerreotype was one of the first forms of photographic print.
Simply defined, it's a picture produced on a silvered plate. It was perfected by Frenchman Louis Daguerre. The process flourished between 1840 and 1860. Lucy Caswell of the Ohio State University Library for Communication and Graphic Arts oversees the safekeeping of nearly 1,800 daguerreotypes. They're from a private collection.
The significance is twofold. One is a study of the history of photography, and the second is the study of social history of the period covered by the photographs.
Take a look at this one closely. This is unusual. Count the fingers on this guy's hands. Here are some pictures of famous people. President John Tyler and his wife Julia. Here's a young Walt Whitman. This is Lieutenant George Meade. He went on to become a general. Everybody recognizes President Lincoln. And back then, a lot of people had a thing for funeral pictures. And it seems like nobody smiled when they had their picture taken. It said that's because they had to hold their pose for such a long time. Here's a guy who looks like he wants to smile, and why not? It's a wedding picture. But the bride doesn't look too thrilled. For CBS News, this is Ed Ross reporting.
And good luck with those family pictures this weekend. I'm sure there'll be plenty of them. Have a nice holiday, whether it be Easter or Passover. Bye-bye.
Could you use an extra $5,000 cash? We'll provide it for you. This weekend, buy or lease any car, new or used, from Renton Chrysler Plymouth only, and we'll establish a future security account with a federally insured savings and loan. And at maturity, you can pick up your check for $5,000 cash. Guaranteed. Buy a boat, pay for college, buy a mink, take a trip, whatever. $5,000 cash is yours. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, buy or lease any car only at Renton Chrysler Plymouth, and you'll have an extra $5,000 to spend. Thank you, America, from the largest Chrysler Plymouth dealer in the Northwest.
Downtown Kirkland is giving away a trip to Puerto Vallarta. Visit these fine stores for details. Dock at the wharf tonight and enjoy fresh fish specialties. Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish, broiler, and retail market. Old Heritage Place, the antique mall with a wide selection of quality antiques and collectibles. Old Heritage Place, where your heritage lives on. Genesis makes your memorable event elegant and easy with glamorous romantic fashions for weddings, proms, and after-5 elegance. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler.
Sale of the century, tonight at 7:30.
I'm sorry, Brian, it's going to have to wait.
I want to talk.
I said I'm busy.
Just answer one question. Why did you leave the Argus the other day so fast, huh?
Look, I said I have things to take care of,
Like
all right?
what?
Like none of your damn business.
Like what? Finding another bookie so you can drop another 1,000 before lunch?
I'm not going to talk to you about this anymore.
You know, it must be kind of difficult now that the casino's closed. You got to find another contact. Kind of scrape the bottom of the barrel like a junkie.
Look,
right?
Brian, spare me your histrionics, please. I'm really not in the mood, okay?
Well, you better get in the mood because we're going to talk about this gambling problem of yours until we resolve...
Look, watch my lips. I don't have a gambling problem.
Prove it.
You cannot force me to sit here and listen to you.
Oh, no? Neither one of us is going to leave this room until you come to terms with what's destroying you once and for all.
What are you doing, Alfie?
Just looking at this painting, sir. Quite nice.
Yes. Yes, it is.
May I ask where you acquired it, sir?
From Marcy Thompson. Actually, it belongs to Lisa McCall. It seems she didn't like it. And when Marcy found it in the attic, well, Lisa let her have it.
Is there a thought that it could be genuine?
Well, that's what I told Marcy I'd find out.
If it were, it would be worth a great deal of money.
Yes, that's right, Alfie. Quite a stroke of luck, really.
Hard at work, I see.
Well, somebody's got a mind in the store with Diana gone, sir.
Yes, too bad about Diana.
had big plans for her.
Yeah, you must really be mad. Her running off like that, taking all the money.
Guess you have any idea where she went?
Me? No, sir.
Of course not. Well, let's hope the other partner is more resilient, not to mention loyal.
Well, you can count on me, sir.
Just keep your nose clean, Cal. Because it's quiet down there now, but when the heat dies down, you're going to be dealing again. Don't want any more slip-ups.
Well, with Diana and Mitch gone, heaven knows I have my work cut out for me.
You know about Mitch, too?
Well, word travels fast in the restaurant business. I try and keep on top of things, sir.
It's too bad you don't keep on top of everything.
Well, what do you mean?
Your friend Maggie Andropoulos.
Maggie?
Maggie ordered that bus last night, you know. Listen to me, Randolph. If you can't control that girlfriend of yours any better, I'll have to take care of her myself.
As the world turns, this portion brought to you today by All Vegetable Crisco. Crisco makes pie crust flaky. And by today's Pringles with a delicious deep-fried flavor.
When I'm up there singing, I like to look good for my fans. And looking good means eating healthy. Of course, I want to see my family eats right, too.
Thank you.
That's why my cooking always starts with Crisco. You see, Crisco is all vegetable with no salt, preservatives, or cholesterol. So it makes food that's good for you. Tastes good, too. Like my tomato cheese pie. Just look how light and flaky Crisco makes the crust.
Mighty tasty.
Hey, if you'd like some of my good and healthy recipes, just send along $1 plus your name and address. I'll mail you a bunch of them. Around this house, cooking good and eating healthy can both start with Crisco.
Sure looks good on you, honey.
Well, you're my biggest fan. Crisco will do you proud every time.
Now, instead of the chip going in the dip's going in the chip. Introducing Pringles Sour Cream and Onion Potato Chips.
Where's my dip?
It's in the chip.
New Pringles Sour Cream and Onion. The rich taste of sour cream and tangy onions in every scrumptious bite.
Oh, I love this dip. Even better in the chip.
New Pringles Sour Cream and Onion. So delicious, because the dip is in the chip.
I used to take pictures only on special occasions. Today, I'm a freelance photographer on special assignment. That's a change for the better. Back then, I used separate detergent and fabric softener. But Bold 3 detergent plus fabric softener changed all that. Uh-huh. Just one product. Oh, when I first tried it, I was afraid I'd have to give up something. Was I wrong? Look, Bold 3 controls even annoying static cling problems.
Plus, everything smells so fresh and feels so good. Even my bulky sweaters are really soft.
And why just tell you how well Bold 3 cleans when a picture's worth 1,000 words?
A change for the better. Bold 3.
See, we have ways of taking care of people that are uncooperative, Cal.
Yes, sir, I understand. I'm going to take and keep control of Maggie.
Good. See, I'm a reasonable man, Cal, but if people start getting too far out of line, I have to sever my relationship with them on a permanent basis, if you know what I mean. For the good of the business.
I think I do, sir.
Because the only thing that's important to me is the business. I can't tolerate anything going wrong with that.
Yes, sir.
All right, then you just keep her in line and see if you can't find out more about that office she's in. See what they're up to. If you do, I won't have to do anything.
Well, look, you see, I can take care of her, but I can't guarantee that she's going to tell me everything that happens in the DA's office, because there's always going to be something she doesn't tell me.
Make her.
How can I? I mean, like last night, we spent the entire night together. She didn't let one little thing slip.
Seems a little strange, doesn't it?
No, I don't think so. It's just the way she is. She doesn't talk about those things. Anyway, Mr. Haskell, it couldn't have been very well planned. I mean, you found out about it, didn't you?
Yes, lucky thing for me, Maggie's husband just happened to be here. Tipped me off in the nick of time.
Frank.
So much for honest cops, huh? Yes, apparently your little affair with his wife has made him rather uneasy. That's where I come in.
You know, I wouldn't trust him if I were you, Mr. Haskell.
Funny, he doesn't care for you either.
Well, if he'd do something like that to his own wife, he'd do it to anybody.
Give a man money, he'll follow you anywhere.
Oh, I don't know about that, sir.
He's been an asset to me so far.
Look, I think it might be good to have a little insurance, don't you?
You have something in mind?
Well, like, I don't know, get him on tape, taking a bribe or something.
I'd incriminate myself as well, wouldn't I?
Not if you were careful and you let him do all the talking.
You know something about these tape recorders, do you?
Well, I mean, you just get one of those little tape recorders. You know, the kind you can put behind your tire in your pocket. It's done all the time.
For a dealer from Vegas, you know a lot about this surveillance business.
No, really. I just used to watch a lot of those detective movies on TV out there.
Fine. Well, where would I get one of these tape recorders?
I don't know. You shop around, I guess.
Good. Do it for me.
Want me to do it?
Yeah, this afternoon.
This afternoon.
This afternoon.
This afternoon.
What exactly are you planning to do with this picture then, sir, if I may ask?
Exactly what I told Marcy I'd do with it. Have it appraised.
Here, in Oakdale?
Oh, no. I wanted someone I could trust. So I've arranged for Victor to come here from New York to do it.
Fine idea, sir. Be nice to see him again. When will he arrive?
This evening. And that's all the talk we'll have on the matter, you understand?
Perfectly, sir.
Good. Now, a few other matters I want you to take care of for me.
Sir?
You've been seeing something that McCall's made, have you not?
Well, from time to time, we go to the cinema. And I visit her whenever I have occasion to see the McCalls on your errands.
Good. And tell me, does she confide in you about things?
Things, sir?
Oh, don't be obtuse, Elfie. Does she tell you anything about the McCalls?
Excuse me, sir, but do you have a reason for your questions?
Yes, I do. It's Marcy. You see, the way she acts, I think that something terrible must have happened to her. Now, she won't talk to me about it. I want to know what it is.
I see. Pardon me, sir, but have you asked her directly, sir?
Yes, of course I have. But I was wondering if you could find out if Martha knows anything,
I could try, sir.
Good man. Remember, you must be subtle about it.
Always, sir.
Good. I knew I could depend on you.
Oh, that reminds me. Mrs. McCall telephoned, and she wants to come over and see you. She'd like to talk to you about something.
Oh, yes. You know, I think Diana must be ill. I've been trying to call her.
Well, I wouldn't know, sir.
No, whatever it is, I'm willing to wager a bet that it's connected to that casino of hers. You know, she tries to appear calm about it, but whenever she's there, she's as jumpy as a cat.
Yes, sir.
Of course, it could have something to do with a younger brother.
Sir?
But I've seen a great deal in my time, Elfie. And Kirk McCall has all the earmarks of a compulsive gambler.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing destroying me.
Oh, I see. You just like to throw the dice around once in a while for relaxation, right?
That is right.
Is that why you were at the casino every night from dusk till dawn? Is that why you lied to Jay? Is that why you sold your car and then came begging to Lisa for money? Is that why you got beaten up? Is that why you stole $15,000?
I told you I would pay your damn money
back. We're not talking about the money here now, Kirk. Look what you're doing to yourself. You are your own worst enemy, and you won't admit it, not even to yourself.
I thought you were a lawyer, not a psychiatrist.
Kirk, you got a compulsion. You have a serious, dangerous compulsion. It could end up in the loss of your life.
What are you
maybe that's what you want. Is that what you want?
What are you talking about?
I mean, you've always had a go at self-destruction, haven't you? There was the booze, there were the girls, there was the fast lane life after Dad died. Before that, it was just plain old juvenile delinquency. I mean, you've had a go at just about every kind of emotional vandalism you could get your hands on, and it was always directed at both of us, Dad and me. Come on, Kirk, what's wrong?
Just stop it! Stop it!
Kirk. Hey, when you came to the Argus to work, you changed. Your articles showed such promise. Dad would have been so proud of you. I published your articles.
You're not him!
Oh, so that's what this is all about, huh? You resent Dad, and you're trying to get at him through me. Is that it? Look at me! I am not your father. I am your brother. You have got to stop punishing me for something you think Whit did or did not do to you.
He hated my guts.
That's crazy, and you know it.
I was his bastard son. I was his embarrassment. And you think of me in the same way.
Kirk, I don't know where you come up with these ideas.
You're so purebred, Brian. You're so well brought up. All I ever heard was, why don't you be more like Brian, Kirk? Brian is good. Brian is so much like his father. Well, take a good look at yourself. You've become a carbon copy of Whit McCall. Just as judgmental, just as abrasive, just as callous, just as determined to run my life for me. Just like dear old Dad.
I'm not trying to run your life. I'm trying to help you.
You're not trying to help me. You don't care about me. The only thing you care about is your precious, almighty McCall name.
I don't ever want to hear you say that again. You think you've had it so tough, huh? You haven't the slightest idea what I went through.
And I don't want to know.
Yeah? Well, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. You're going to listen to all of it. And when it's finished, I'm going to come right back at you.
Presenting a crispy, chewy family reunion.
Crispy, chewy, crispy, chewy. Yummy Dunkin' Hines and crispy, chewy. Tastes like my mom's does.
Dunkin' Hines chocolate chip cookies. They're not hard like most store-bought cookies. They're crispy outside, soft and chewy inside, like Mom bakes.
The yummy one that tastes like mom's does.
Dunkin' Hines chocolate chip cookies in a bag. Crispy, chewy.
I am telling you that I love my pine cleaner.
We challenged Mrs. Rubin to test her pine cleaner against new Spick and Span pine to see which would clean toughest bathtub grime the best. The winner, new Spick and Span pine.
There is no doubt that it is the most effective thing that I have seen.
And it deodorizes and disinfects, too.
I'm more than willing to change to Spick and Span pine because it's proved to me that it works the best.
New Spick and Span pine. Among leading pines, it's the best for cleaning bathrooms, or our name isn't Spick and Span.
My wife, Susie, works with some beautiful women, but for beautiful skin, no one beats my Susie. And that's why I wrote Ivory about her.
I do get compliments on my skin, even from my models. So when one of them asks me what I use, I tell them Ivory. Ivory's not made with a lot of additives. It cleans gently, naturally. Good food and exercise are important too, but Ivory's a basic.
Healthy-looking skin. Ivory can help you have it too.
When someone asks me, I tell them Ivory.
Crest presents A Day at the Dentist.
Going to the dentist is really, really fun when you brush with Crest. And this is the dentist's office where I got my great checkup.
Among dentists who recommend specific brands, more dentists usually recommend Crest than all other leading toothpaste combined.
I told the dentist that I brush with Crest every single day. And he said, terrific. Orange your teeth, orange your teeth, word Crest. Crest makes me feel good about going to the dentist because I know that I'm going to have a great checkup.
Space, driven by desire.
Are you turning me downward?
I want it all, Pen. Ambition.
Are you going for the top spot?
And courage.
They're looking for you everywhere.
They would dare the ultimate adventure.
You just put us into the space business.
Touchdown! He can teach angels to fly.
Beginning this Sunday, Space.
People are willing to pay me more than I'm getting here at the hospital for my new drug.
Hello, John.
Oh, hi, Bob. What a surprise.
Why?
Huh? Oh, well, I mean, I thought your mind was occupied with poetry, wedding bells at this time. What brings you down here?
Oh, I just thought I'd stop in and see how your work is coming along.
Oh, slowly, very slowly. Well, you know how these things are. They take time. I'm working full-time on the Wilhelms now. That's a good thing. This Andropolis thing slowed me down a bit, though.
Well, he's coming along rather nicely, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess so. He's beginning to carp as to when we're going to release him.
Well, that's a good sign. Speaking of impatience...
Ah, now we're here. The point of your visit is, yes?
Well, the hospital's a little concerned about what happened to those contracts.
Contracts?
Contracts. Yours to be on staff here, also the contract that the hospital will distribute your new drug.
Oh, those contracts. I haven't seen those.
Well, that's impossible. They were drawn up weeks ago. Are you sure they're not here somewhere?
Believe me, I would know if they were here. You didn't send them by the inner office mail system, did you?
Oh, yes, I did.
I thought you would know better by now. That's one of the things I'll have to get straightened out if I'm on the board of directors. Well, it's either me or Lucinda Walsh who you want running this hospital.
I try not to think about that.
I suppose not. You're pretty preoccupied with other things, huh? By the way, when is the wedding?
Why? Are you coming?
Are you kidding? I wouldn't want to miss seeing Kim bite the bullet again.
I'll see what happened to those contracts, and I'll deliver them personally, and we'll get this thing wrapped up as soon as possible.
Stop by any time, Bob, any time. Oh, boy, I don't know if I should sign anything right now.
Kim. Oh, a sunrise service at the Botanical Garden. How gorgeous. Oh, don't tell me, but this had to be Bob's idea.
As a matter of fact, it was. He just didn't think we were making the wedding special enough.
Oh, it'll be special, all right.
He just absolutely amazes me. He keeps coming up with these wonderful, crazy ideas.
Well, that's what keeps love alive, isn't it?
You bet it is. Lisa, dear, are you okay about all of this?
What, me?
Yes, you. Honey, I know how close you and Bob are.
Kim. Oh, honey, don't say that. That's so ridiculous of you. You all love each other. You're going to get married, and that's the way it should be.
You're sure?
Of course. Now, don't even think of anything else. I mean, that's silly. I just regret that I haven't been here to help you out make your wedding plans.
Oh, please. There have been so many things going on, I haven't really made any plans.
Oh, dear. Well, now, Kim, wait a minute. Don't you worry about your wedding reception. Don't worry about that. Oh, we will have that. We will make it the most spectacular wedding reception in all of Oakdale.
Lisa, honey, I'm just going to do something simple, you know, something at the garden.
Oh, no. Oh, please. Oh, Pooh, don't do that. No. Listen to me. Let's have it at Diana's. It will be so regal. Oh, Kim.
At sunrise?
Yeah. Oh, no. No, it wouldn't be at sunrise. No, this is what you do. You have your wedding at sunrise at the Botanical Garden, okay? Then everybody goes home and everyone rests like they should, you know, like normal people do. Then at sunset, we will have the reception at Diana's, huh?
Diana's? Oh, Lisa.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, she's not even in town, and
I know, but
I didn't even think the place was open.
Oh, yeah, it's still, it's still in business.
Really?
Sure, I'm at the helm.
You?
Well, after all, when the skipper's away, the ship has to be watched. So I have elected myself. Kim, it's going to be such a wonderful reception, and you've got it at the hottest spot in town. Oh, everybody is just going to love it, and no one will ever forget it.
Okay, Louis. Now, you just turn it on like that. You make sure that he's sitting at the bar, Frank's at the bar, and you turn it off like that. That's all there is to it.
Oh, I don't know. I've never done anything like this before.
It's a piece of cake. Here they come.
So, what do you think, Frank?
I think you turned the hottest room in town into the emptiest in a record time. But I still don't know how you did it.
Well, practice, Frank, practice. This wasn't the first time somebody's tried to surprise me, and it won't be the last. which is why I need you.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Frank.
Cal.
Hey, you know my accountant, Louis Barbash? He's got me out of more scrapes than I care to enumerate.
Nice to meet you.
Right.
So I'm afraid I have to cut across town for another appointment, but why don't you stay here and have a drink with Louis?
Sure.
Unless you're still on duty.
No, I'm on a different kind of duty now.
Fine, fine. As a matter of fact, Louis may have something a little extra for you.
Sounds good.
So I'll be back later. Hold the fort, you two.
Sure thing, Mr. Haskell. What's your poison?
Oh, beer's good.
Beer, coming up.
So, what is that little, something special that he was talking about?
See for yourself.
Hey, there's another 10 grand in here.
That's right.
All this just for tipping him off to the bust? Hey, do you know how long it would take me to earn this kind of money on a cop's salary?
So, what are you gonna do with it?
Guess I'm just gonna stash it away for my early retirement.
Good idea. Best not to, flash it around too much.
You can count on that. And if there's more of this where this came from, I would be more than willing to help you guys out. We can all get what we want, and nobody will know about it.
Please, don't let me find anything. Thank God.
Coming!
Hi.
What do you want?
Well, nice to see you too, Maggie.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. I said, what do you want?
I found out which cop is on the take.
Look at you. You're not the same as you were yesterday. You're looking smarter. You're on the move and going your own way. And JCPenney's changed with you.
The Wyndham Collection, a coordinated career wardrobe of tailored jackets, skirts, and fine silk blouses, designed to help you take on life's many challenges with style. Wyndham at JCPenney.
You're looking smarter than ever. JCPenney.
Imagine the pleasure of Folgers rich mountain-grown coffee. Now imagine decaffeinated. Introducing Folgers new decaffeinated coffee. The only decaffeinated coffee with Folgers' enticing mountain-grown aroma. That superb mountain-grown blend. That delicious mountain-grown flavor. Outstanding. The pleasure of Folgers, now decaffeinated. Imagine that.
What does Sure do better than it does anything else? It makes you feel dry and sure about yourself. And when you're feeling good about you,
It figures everybody else does too. That's why sure people sure feel good. Sure people sure feel good.
Sure has all the protection you need to help stay dry all day. And that's a good feeling for everyone.
Sure people sure feel good. Sure people sure feel good.
This portion of As the World Turns has been brought to you today by Mountain Grown Folgers. Folgers is the best part of waking up. And by Sure Antiperspirant. You can raise your hand if you're sure, because Sure Antiperspirant helps keep you dry. We'll continue with part 2 of As the World Turns in just a moment.
Two daring crooks become a secret weapon for the cops.
How about a badge or a gun or something?
Out of the question.
She kidding me or what?
Billy D. Williams wants out.
We'd rather do time.
Ken Wall wants in.
This ought to be fun. I haven't talked anything soft and cuddly in over 3 years.
Double Dare premieres Wednesday, April 10th.
This is CBS. Find out why Seattle loves to play ball and if Larry Sturholm can make the Mariner team. Baseball strikes again, tomorrow at 7 on KIRO TV.
Years ago, you couldn't call to replace an MCI. But now you can use MCI to call every phone in every other state, every city in those states, every neighborhood in those cities. And MCI saves you money over AT&T on every call. So if you called MCI years ago and were told they didn't go everywhere you called, call again. Things do change. I mean, you should have seen my high school yearbook picture. What a bow wow.
Call MCI. Join millions of people who are saving over AT&T on all their out-of-state calls, anytime they call.
When I brought him home, he was this big. Honest. The can of Calcan the breeder gave me to start with was even bigger than he was. Oh, and now look at this woolly monster. As he flourished, he's the happiest, healthiest dog I have ever had. And a big part of the credit goes to Calcan. It's got all that high-quality meat, plus all the vitamins and minerals Bo needs. And boy, does he love his Calcan.
Calcan, 100% complete nutrition for all stages of your dog's life. No wonder top breeders recommend it.
Chocolate, your diet, and you. 4:30 Friday.
And now, part 2 of As the World Turns.
I know who tipped off Haskell.
Who is it?
I hate to tell you this, Maggie. I know it's going to hurt you, but it's better you hear it from me. It was Frank.
It can't be.
I heard it from Haskell himself.
Oh, are you going to believe a man like Haskell? You know what he's like.
Maggie, I think it's true.
It's not possible Frank couldn't do something like that.
Look, you should have heard Haskell bragging about how you can buy anybody with money, laughing about how your own husband messed up your operation.
I don't care what Haskell said. I've been checking the books, and Frank
Maggie
didn't
was
do it.
there this morning. He came walking into Diana's. They went downstairs to the empty casino. They came upstairs arm in arm, laughing and talking. He's in on it, Maggie.
Cal, I want proof. And until I've had proof, I don't want to hear another word. Now get out.
You know, I just wanted to spare you some grief, Maggie.
Cal, get out.
By the way, I had an idea.
Is this like a new experiment?
No. It's just like an older idea that I want to bring up.
With Susan Hutchison and Steve Rabel. Good afternoon on this Friday, April the 5th. Susan Hutchison's a bit under the weather this afternoon. She'll be back on Monday. This is a day of very great religious significance. Sundown brings the Jewish observance of Passover. And for Christians, this is Good Friday. Mike Greenspan reports from Jerusalem.
Thousands of Christian pilgrims from around the world crowded the streets and alleys of Old Jerusalem today to mark Good Friday. In processions that begin before dawn, they retrace the steps of Jesus on the day of his crucifixion 1,955 years ago. The Via Dolorosa marks the traditional way of the cross, beginning at the Ecce Homo convent, site of the Roman Praetorium where Governor General Pontius Pilate condemned Jesus to death. Christian faithful stopped to pray at the stations of the cross, the sites of important events of that day sanctified by history and the church. The Gospel of John says, so they took Jesus, and he went out bearing his own cross to the place called the Place of a Skull, which is called in Hebrew Golgotha. Here, the route reaches its climax at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built atop Golgotha. Within the church lie the final 3 stations in Jesus' earthly journey, the site of the crucifixion, the stone of unction, where his body was anointed after death, and the site of his tomb, contained within a Greek Orthodox chapel. There are historical and religious conflicts about the exact location of these sites. Protestant tradition places the crucifixion and burial at another location outside Old Jerusalem's present city walls. But Western Christianity joins together here today to commemorate the final agony of its Savior.
And that's Good Friday in Jerusalem, a day of sorrow for the Christian world that comes in anticipation of a joyous Easter Sunday. Mike Greenspan, CNN, Jerusalem.
This holiday weekend also marks the beginning of a vacation for President Reagan. The president left the nation's capital this morning for a 10-day period of R&R at his ranch in California. Before leaving, Mr. Reagan met with Senate Republican leaders. They all agreed that selling the new compromise budget to Congress will be a fight. The president also signed a bill extending jobless benefits for the chronically unemployed. A 6-member U.S. delegation next week will head for Nicaragua. The fact-finding group includes former CIA Director Stansfield Turner and several members of Congress. They plan to visit refugee camps and meet with government leaders and members of the opposition. Today, Nicaragua's Sandinista government rejected the ceasefire proposal made yesterday by President Reagan. Nicaragua's foreign minister called it a propaganda gimmick.
As a result of the desperation that he feels because his inability
to convince the American people and the Congress of the United States that they should, in fact, continue to be financing this murder and these crimes which are being committed by the CIA mercenaries.
President Reagan yesterday called for peace talks between Nicaragua's government and the rebels that they're fighting, but he also wants $14 million for the rebels. Money, Mr. Reagan says, that will go for food and clothing if the talks succeed. Near New Delhi, India, dozens of farm workers riding illegally atop 2 trains were hit by a bridge scaffolding today. 28 of them were killed, more than 25 others seriously injured. Gary Dotson is spending this Easter weekend at home in South Chicago. He spent the past 6 Easters in prison, convicted of rape. But now the woman whose testimony put Dotson behind bars says she lied. And she says she's changing that testimony because the Easter story changed her life. Frank Courier reports.
Gary Dotson walked from prison last night, free on bond, after serving 6 years for a crime he may never have committed.
That's one of the greatest feelings in the world.
Neighbors and friends were there to greet him as he arrived home in South suburban Chicago, his dream of spending Easter with a family a reality. At a packed court hearing, Kathleen Webb, a 23-year-old New Hampshire housewife, swore that she lied 8 years ago, falsely accusing Dotson of raping her. A born-again faith and guilty conscience forced her to tell the truth, she told the court, as she calmly recounted how she'd ripped her blouse and scratched her body with glass to fool police. An invented rape charge, she said, to conceal a feared pregnancy from a recent sexual encounter. The judge postponed the case 1 week so the crime lab can analyze new blood samples from both Webb and Dotson, which could back up her recanted testimony.
The issue today is simply one of perjury, and since there is no evidence to suggest that perjury was not committed previously, he should be released. That's the law.
An anonymous donation helped Dotson's mother post the required 10% of a $100,000 bond.
What can I say, but I love you. I appreciate I don't know. It's just too much.
With joy, not bitterness, Dotson will savor his week of freedom until the judge decides next Thursday whether Kathleen Webb's rape was real or imagined. Frank Courier, CBS News, Chicago.
A 14-month-old Florida boy is also starting a new life thanks to some help from the White House. Doctors said Ryan Osterblum would soon die without a liver transplant. Well, last night, Ryan flew to Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. There, doctors performed the transplant. The donor organ came after a personal appeal from Health and Human Services Secretary Margaret Heckler. Before the surgery, Ryan's mother offered a public thanks to the family of that anonymous donor.
I'm very excited. Yes, I think this is it, and I give the glory to God, and my heart goes out to those parents who committed one of the most unselfish acts a parent could do, and I thank them with all of my heart to think of Ryan during such a tragic situation. Thank you.
Ryan's operation lasted more than 10 hours. Right now, he's listed in critical but stable condition. Artificial heart patient Bill Schrader is just 1 day away from making medical history again. Schrader tomorrow becomes the first mechanical heart recipient to leave a hospital for life at home with his family. Final preparations are underway today in the specially equipped 2-bedroom apartment, which is just across the street from the Humana Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky. Well, there's much more ahead on Eyewitness News between now and 6. A King County judge decides whether Tony Ng's confession will be allowed as evidence in his Chinatown murder trial. A blessed event in an unusual place, a baby is delivered on an Alaska ferry. And the Ethiopian fundraising song, We Are the World, goes simulcast. We'll explain. Plus, a new tennis ball. Is it the answer to improving your game? And a pre-Easter look at chocolate. Just what are its effects on your body?
Easy 101, KSEA. More and more people are tuning to Seattle's Easy Sound with more of your favorite songs from yesterday and today played in a relaxing, easy style.
Relax, love, and listen. KSEA is Seattle.
Easy 101, KSEA.
Playing the sport of kings may sound easy enough, but it's just as demanding as every other professional sport. There's the dedicated teamwork, the strict training diet, braving of the outdoor elements, plenty of rigorous exercise. And 10 times a day, a run for pay dirt. Longacres, the professional sport you play.
Downtown Kirkland is giving away a trip to Puerto Vallarta. Visit these fine stores for details. Old Heritage Place, the antique mall with a wide selection of quality antiques and collectibles. Old Heritage Place, where your heritage lives on. Kirkland Furniture, for over 30 years, providing personal service, large selection of name brands, and free delivery. The company to have in your home. Kirkland Sewing Machine and Vacuum Center. The exclusive Eastside Bernina dealer offers these tremendous savings now through April 7th. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler.
Here, Bobby. Let me show you how to pitch. That's my orange. Relax. To throw a fastball, you put 2 fingers right on the sun kiss. But for a slider, you put your fingers across the sun kiss. Okay, now can I have my orange back? Yeah, after I show you the sweetest pitch of all.
A sun-kissed orange is always sweet and juicy. You have our word on it.
When you took it, he'd eat my orange.
If you live in any of the areas listed on your screen, you may be able to receive a better picture from Channel 7 Seattle by tuning the UHF channel listed for your locality. For more information, call 624-7087.
Well, the weekend is but a few short hours away, a special one for those of us celebrating Easter. No doubt food will play a big part in those holiday festivities. The Easter ham, pies, cakes, and of course, those traditional Easter eggs. Well, our health specialist, Kathy Marshall, is here with more on this tasty topic. I'm not talking about the hams and cakes, that's all fine, but the Easter eggs, yes indeed.
Definitely. All week, Steve, we've been looking at ways food affects us, from how caffeine and sugar affect our behavior to how certain foods reduce our cancer risks and may help us live longer. Today, we conclude our series with America's sweetheart food, chocolate.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know why you're eating. Let's just apply this one directly to your hips.
Some would call it a chocolate workout that Americans love, and here in Seattle, there's plenty of opportunity to exercise that passion. Like here at Old World Fudge, where you can get anything from chocolate-covered caramel to chocolate-covered strawberries. Americans eat 2 million pounds of chocolate each year, from mass-produced 30-cent bars to specially designed chocolates that nip our pocketbooks at $20 a pound. Chocolate's been maligned a long time. It's said to make us fat, give us pimples, and wreck our teeth. But researchers in the know say that just isn't so, that chocolate in moderation is no more harmful than other foods. And in fact, chocolate gives a temporary boost of energy.
It gives me a lift when I'm down, when I need a little revival.
So what is it about chocolate that keeps us coming back for more?
I think people buy chocolate because they can't afford to go to Hawaii.
So that kind of makes up for it, huh? What do you think chocolate does?
Chocolate's a sweet treat. Makes you happy.
A popular notion that may fudge on the facts is that chocolate does make us happy, that it releases the same hormones set off when we fall in love, and that's why we associate chocolate with good feelings. But that's just not so, says nutritionist Dr. Bonnie Worthington Roberts. She says the chocolate euphoria is all in our heads.
It will probably make you happy if you think it will, and in terms of biochemical content, I'm aware of no substance in chocolate that truly is happiness-producing. You can prove in a scientific setting.
And some little boys even prove that point. What do you feel like after you eat chocolate?
Just a drink, because usually you need something to wash all this stuff out.
So if that chocolate euphoria is all in our heads, Seattleites certainly love to pretend. It looks like it's time for another chocolate workout.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Kathy Marshall, KIRO, Eyewitness News.
Work on the jowls. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And if you're trying to get your timing down this Easter, there's plenty of chocolate out there, believe me. They even make chocolate Easter baskets right now. This is solid white chocolate, as you can see, and it makes you even more anxious to devour the treats inside, I think, so you can get to the basket. And this is going home to my family in Portland, Steve, so sorry about that, but we do have a little Easter basket for you here. Since you've sat through our food series all week, I thought you deserved that.
Mr. Sunshine, huh? Well, it's too bad that Susie's not here. I'll just set one over there in her place. She's not feeling well. Perhaps she got into her basket a little bit early.
She might have done that.
You know, we've talked about chocolate as being the food of romance, so to speak, and because of the hormones released or the chemicals released, whatever. But it's interesting that sweet things, sugary sweet things, have been used, the terminology has been used talking about romance. My sweetie is at home, or my sugar, or my honey, or something
Your
like
honey,
that.
and you bring home the bacon each week to her, I'm sure.
Oh, well, more food, bring home the bacon. How about when I was playing football, we had beefy offensive linemen.
Oh, really?
Yes, we did. Beefy, yes.
And the Seahawks have also beefed up their program, too, which is good to see.
And a number of professional athletes have been known as cabbage heads in the past. But we don't want to get into that.
And sometimes you're known as a real nut, I understand, too.
Beg your pardon.
So you'll find food in every part of our language, and I think every part of our life. It's just a sign of how food affects us in so many ways.
What was the most important thing that you learned in this series that you will take with you about eating habits and the kinds of things that are good for you and not so good for you?
I think the need for more fruits and vegetables on a daily basis, because that's something I was neglecting and something I intend to pay a lot more attention to now.
Will you still eat a little chocolate once in a while?
I'll never get away from that.
Me neither. Or the coffee. I'm afraid I like coffee too much. All right, Kathy, good series. Thank you. We appreciate it. Coming up next, Harry Wappler talks weather and weekend. We're moving up on 4:44 in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Please return with us.
It's the bottom of the ninth. The bases are loaded. Sturholm steps up to bat. Sturholm? Yes, KIRO's own Larry Sturholm is trying out for the Mariners. Will he make the team? He looked pretty good. Tomorrow at 7, baseball strikes again. Find out why Seattle loves to play ball, how the Mariners survive spring training, and if Larry will make it in the majors. Baseball strikes again, tomorrow at 7 on KIRO TV.
As a little kid, I went on one of those big Easter egg hunts at Woodland Park. I never found a single egg. Well, you won't get trampled at QFC, and you won't go away with an empty basket. Our U.S. Choice beef rib roast is $2.98 a pound, and fresh Genio and Valkris grade A hen turkeys are only 79 cents a pound. Fresh asparagus is in at 99 cents a pound. From your friendly fillers of Easter baskets, QFC.
And now, a KIRO Management Editorial.
I'm John Lippman for the editorial board of KIRO. The Washington State Senate Transportation Committee had an opportunity to show some leadership yesterday. It could have approved a bill making wearing seatbelts in cars the law. KIRO and many other organizations have supported the mandatory seatbelt measure. But instead of leading, the Senate committee passed the buck. It voted 14-1 to put the seatbelt bill up for a statewide vote. KIRO is disturbed by the committee's action to essentially avoid making a possibly controversial decision. We want our legislators to take tough stands, not to avoid them. Plus, the election will cost money. Putting seatbelts on the November election ballot will mean expensive campaigning, and it will mean a good law that could have been on the books this July won't make it until next year. This action indicates to us at least some of our senators are not leading. The mandatory seatbelt law as amended will come before the Senate again. KIRO hopes the full Senate passes it without requiring it first go to the voters in November.
KIRO welcomes other viewpoints. Please write.
We're Mutual Benefit Financial Group, and we believe you have a unique financial profile with unique goals and concerns. We'll listen to you.
I want to retire soon.
Design your financial plan, clearly spelling out your options.
Sounds good.
Then say the word and we'll put your plan into action.
Go.
This free sample plan explains it all. Call 800-351-1890, Mutual Benefit Financial Group. What's your profile?
Get a new lease on your life. Lease a sparkling new car or truck from Dick's Cascade Ford in Bellevue with no money down and super low monthly payments. Lease a factory fresh Escort for just $99 a month, no money down. Lease a tough new Ford Ranger pickup for under $111 a month, no money down. Leasing makes luxury affordable with a family-sized LTV at only $165 a month, no money down when you lease from Dick's Cascade Ford. The selection is huge with lots of options. Lease now with no money down at Dick's Cascade Ford on the west side of Bellevue's Auto Row.
Well, this is a big weekend for weather watchers because there are going to be a lot of folks out there wearing Easter bonnets, and they want to know if they're going to get wet or not. I personally would like to know if my lovely bonnet will get wet. This furry bonnet that I'm wearing right here, Harry Wappler with the weather.
You ought to get a new one. That one's getting kind of...
It is. Well, you can't buy these things through the mail, I'm telling you what.
Oh, yes, you can.
No.
The weather is going to be fine, Steve.
Oh, really?
There's a little chance we get some rain late on Easter Day, but I think you'll find it's going to be a very nice weekend, and eastern Washington should be warm and sunny and really very, very good. I'll have all the details at 5 o'clock, but let me get you a little short-range view and a hint of what's to come. Here's the satellite photograph, and our picture shows nearly an absence of clouds now as the state begins to clear out. As this ridge of high pressure, which is centered back in here, begins to drift in over us, we'll get into our warmer weather of the weekend. So today, once the sun came out in the afternoon, we started to get up into about the mid-50s. Tomorrow, we should get in the mid-60s and might even touch 70 around Puget Sound. So things are looking good. Here's our nowcast for the next 2 hours. Partly cloudy, temperatures mid-40s to mid-50s in that hour, and most of us now are between about 52 and 57 degrees.
Oh, a little 70 action on Sunday, perhaps.
I think it's
That's
possible.
good news.
Maybe even tomorrow. Olympia usually gets a little warmer than Seattle, so I think South Sound could easily touch a 70 this weekend.
Well, I look forward to that. And if, well, I'll see you at 6:30, but otherwise, have a very happy weekend.
A happy Easter and happy Passover to all of our viewers.
All right, Harry, thank you. Ringling Brothers Circus is being accused of showing off a fake unicorn, and animal lovers say that people should boycott the Big Top because of it. Pat Dolan reports from New York.
Scaring up a mythical creature or two is no big deal for the greatest show on Earth, but this time, the circus claims the magic is real.
The sensation of the ages, the living unicorn.
Legends dating back to ancient Greece paint the unicorn as a fierce symbol of purity, a beast that could fence like a soldier and only be tamed with the touch of a virgin. Experts say such creatures, magic or not, are not found in nature, and the circus version drew mixed reviews from this audience.
Did you believe it was real?
I did. Did you,
Well, yeah, it looked real. I don't know. It looked like a sheep with a horn, but you never know.
But there is no doubt the show's top star has put Barnum and Bailey on the horns of a dilemma.
The American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals believes the Ringling Brothers unicorn may be a surgically altered fake. But they say so far, circus officials have refused to allow an in-depth medical examination of the animals.
I'm the president of the ASPCA. We have legitimate peace officer power to do animal inspections.
ASPCA says its inspectors were turned away twice before being permitted to examine one of the 4 alleged unicorns by hand. Afterwards, they called on the public to stay away from the circus until Ringling Brothers provides more answers.
In the name of public spectacle, we can't do any damn thing we want to the animals of this country that are also sentient creatures.
And it appears to be a construct, an artificial horn.
ASPCA is threatening legal action, although it concedes the mystery creatures do not seem to be in pain. A statement issued by the circus called any suggestion of cruelty ludicrous. The statement adds, those in doubt are more than welcome to come to the show and decide for themselves. Pat Dolan, CNN, New York.
One new item I'm certain that Herb Weisbaum knew about before today. Herb is up next with new product that could improve your tennis game.
Ken's Suburban Schoenfeld Furniture reduces your cost of living. Ken's warehouse and showrooms are overflowing. Everything in stock must be sold now. If you sit on it, if you sleep on it, if you eat on it, if you walk on it, you'll save on it. Discover tremendous quality from Drexel Heritage, Thomasville, Karastan, and many others now at clearance prices. Shop today for a huge selection for your living room, dining room, and bedroom. Reduce your cost of living now at all Ken Suburban and Ken Schoenfeld showrooms.
Now, kids fly free and stay free on Air Cal's Happy Kids Tour. You'll stay at the beautiful new Hilton Hotel in Anaheim. and kids get free tickets to both Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm, home of Camp Snoopy. Just take AirCal's Happy Kids Tour, and kids 2 to 11 fly free, stay free, and play free. The Happy Kids Tour. AirCal. We make flying easy.
Howdy again, I'm Cal Worthington, Worthington Ford Federal Way. How would you like to buy a brand new Ford car or truck for $500? Well, I'll tell you something. I'll lease you a brand new Ford car or truck with no money down, low monthly payments. At the end of the lease, you pay $500, you own the car or truck. It's called the Worthington Ford Lease Purchase Plan. You better find out about it. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. Pick up the phone and call us collect. Call Worthington Ford Federal Way, the only way, open to midnight every day.
Downtown Kirkland is giving away a trip to Puerto Vallarta. Visit these fine stores for details. Dock at the wharf tonight and enjoy fresh fish specialties. Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler and retail market. Old Heritage Place, the antique mall with a wide selection of quality antiques and collectibles. Old Heritage Place, where your heritage lives on. Genesis makes your memorable event elegant and easy with glamorous romantic fashions for weddings, proms, and after-5 elegance. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler.
We're moving up on 453 in the Eyewitness Newsroom on this Friday
Current and collectible comics by that person who takes their comics seriously. Fortuna Books on the corner of Central and Lake Street offers a wide selection of used and collectible books, featuring current periodicals as well. The Bookshelf invites you to come browse their special areas: metaphysics, Northwest, sailing, classics, and children's literature. Special orders are welcome. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar.
$5,000 cash. We'll provide it for you. This weekend, buy or lease any car, new or used, from Renton Chrysler Plymouth only, and we'll establish a future security account with a federally insured savings and loan. And at maturity, you can pick up your check for $5,000 cash. Guaranteed. Buy a boat, pay for college, buy a mink, take a trip, whatever. $5,000 cash is yours. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, buy or lease any car only at Renton Chrysler Plymouth, and you'll have an extra $5,000 to spend. Thank you, America, from the largest Chrysler Plymouth dealer in the Northwest.
Ken's Suburban Show-and-Feld Furniture reduces your cost of living. Ken's warehouse and showrooms are overflowing. Everything in stock must be sold now. If you sit on it, if you sleep on it, if you eat on it, if you walk on it, you'll save on it. Discover tremendous quality from Drexel Heritage, Thomasville, Karastan, and many others now at clearance prices. Shop today for a huge selection for your living room, dining room, and bedroom. Reduce your cost of living now at all Ken Suburban and Ken Show-and-Feld showrooms.
Howdy again, I'm Cal Worthington, Worthington Ford Federal Way. How would you like to buy a brand new Ford car or truck for $500? Well, I'll tell you something. I'll lease you a brand new Ford car or truck with no money down, low monthly payments. At the end of the lease, you pay $500, you own the car or truck. It's called the Worthington Ford Lease Purchase Plan. You better find out about it. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you. Pick up the phone and call us collect. Call Worthington Ford Federal Way, the only way.
Down every boy and girl to the festival.
The world's most exciting children's festival is coming to Seattle April 21st through 28th, and you are personally invited. The International Children's Festival at Seattle Center features daily shows by performers from all over the world.
Come on along to a wonderful world, to the festival.
Stores for details. Moss Bay Mercantile, quality men's and women's sample shop with a traditional flavor. By the lake, by the park in downtown Kirkland. Starboard Marine Supply, the East Side's one-stop marine supply store for all your nautical needs, building their reputation on quality and service. Come on down to Outdoor Traders. Camp and Case and Fish and Frank are merchants of fine hiking, angling, and outdoor gear. April sale on now. Sponsored by Pelican's Wharf and Whaler Bar, the fresh fish broiler.
Just another day at Silo. No way. Silo is on holiday alert. Silo is celebrating Easter with special savings of $10 to $200 off selected appliances, TVs, audio components, and stereo systems. Yes, it's Silo's after Easter clearance, now through Thursday. Are you ready to save?
Linda Cold Iron, tonight at 6:30.
Now stay tuned for the CBS Evening News, coming up next here on Channel 7 Seattle.
Good evening. This is the CBS Evening News. Susan
Sound the KIRO style. So relax, come and listen for a while. Relax, come and listen for a while. KSEA is Seattle.
Easy 101, KSEA.
Everybody ready to talk IRAs?
Did you tell them about our faster interest compounding?
All in good time. As you know, my assignment was to come up with a TV commercial on the advantages of opening IRA accounts with Pacific First Federal. So if you're ready.
Social Security isn't enough anymore. Today, you need an IRA, and Pacific First Federal is the best place to have one. You get faster interest compounding, and we don't charge fees. But even if you do go somewhere else, please, for your sake, open an IRA account today. Because tomorrow comes sooner than you think.
He just put it off too long.
Pretty emotional,
but that's what people need to see. An IRA can be the difference between a good life and who knows.
I know. My dad's on Social Security, and he can't make it without me.
Happy Easter from KIRO TV.
Now, KIRO Eyewitness News, the news specialists with Linda Coldiron, Gary Spinell, sports, Jay Cassio, weather. Live from the newsroom in Seattle, KIRO Eyewitness News.
Some clouds, but no rain as the sun peeped through on this Easter morning. And the good weather meant pretty good attendance at Easter sunrise services around the Sound. At Alki Point, 2 West Seattle churches joined in a service especially for the children and for the young at heart. One of today's most unusual Easter services took place in a prison. The man leading the service was once a top aide to Richard Nixon. And as Karen O'Leary reports, this preacher is very familiar with prison.
He served 7 months for a Watergate-related crime, and Charles Colson once thought he'd never go back to prison. But this morning, he boarded a ferry to ride to the state penitentiary at McNeil Island. Colson is free now, a born-again Christian.
I found new friends, new furniture, and a cat. My wife came back, and soon she was eating prunes, too. Friends flocked to our place for parties and dinners and brought their own prunes along. I became vibrant and exciting and a fun guy to talk to. My life's never been the same since. And you know, it's all because of prunes.
Introducing MJB European Roast Coffee.
Allez, venez, Milord, nous asseoir à ma table. Il fait si froid dehors.
Arrivederci Roma, goodbye.
Quand il me prend dans ses bras.
MJB European Roast. It's new. It's dark roasted.
Good coffee.
A Pacific First Federal IRA gives people faster interest compounding. And we don't charge fees, which makes their retirement a little richer.
Faculty members at Walla Walla's Whitman College want the school to sell off any stock it has in companies that do business.
Oh, that's history now. Sea Galley starting fresh. From our impressive new list of fresh seafood to our fresh new menu. Sea Galley, it's got to be good or it's on us. But remember, if it's that greasy stuff you're after, better go someplace else.
At Ringmakers and Allen's Jewelry, we want to be your jeweler. During our April shower of diamonds, save when you buy the way the experts do. Buy total weight. Affordable. Choose from a collection of quarter-carat total weight diamond jewelry. Dinner rings, men's rings, bridal sets, ladies' quartz watches. Your choice, just $3.89. Save on diamonds. This gorgeous heart-shaped diamond pendant or matching ring, now just $99.88. Ringmakers, Allen's Jewelry. Ringmakers and Allen's Jewelry, where diamonds are affordable, and we give you the credit you deserve.
Frederick & Nelson invites you to a very special down event. A sale on light and luxurious Olympic white goose down comforters. All natural, box quilted with plump pockets of soft white down. Every size from twin to king is 50% off. For example, full queen size, normally $400, is now $199.99. Nothing lets you sleep so comfortably, and no time is better to buy than now during Frederick & Nelson's down event. Savings of 50%.
The Cadillac Dream Drive of '85. And here's the dream to drive. Cadillac's magnificent front-wheel drive Eldorado, starting at just $21,355. And no Cadillac has a gas guzzler tax, unlike some cars we won't mention. So test drive a dream at your Seattle-Tacoma Cadillac Dream dealers. Fredericks in Seattle, Osborne McCann in Tacoma, George Plattis in Bellevue, and Alderwood in Linwood.
A Pacific First Federal IRA gives people faster interest compounding. And we don't charge fees, which makes their retirement a little richer.
Everything you put into a Shoreline IRA is tax deductible. Your interest is tax deferred. And there are no setup or annual fees. Shoreline savings with an unbroken profit record for over 30 years. And experts in IRA retirement scrapbooks.
Just another day at Silo. No way. Silo is on holiday alert. Silo is celebrating Easter with special savings of $10 to $200 off selected appliances, TVs, audio components, and stereo systems. Yes, it's Silo's after Easter clearance, now through Thursday. Are you ready to save?
When he dies, let me know, will you? Have to talk to his family.
Change, Andrews?
Nothing at all. The EEG is still flat. Been flat for the past 36 hours.
They located any family yet?
Not yet. They're still looking.
Check again, will you? Must have a relative somewhere. All right, when and if we do the transplant, our team will be scrubbing first. Now, we have every reason to believe the heart's in good shape. So Dr. McIntyre will have Jamie on the table, ready to receive it as soon as we get it out.
Any luck contacting LaSalle's family?
Yeah, I spoke to an uncle up in Canada. I can hardly remember the kid's name.
Did he give us permission to use the heart?
Sure, he said he couldn't care less.
Then we better schedule this job pretty quick. LaSalle's beginning to smell like a cadaver.
Listen to me. LaSalle is a living human being until he is pronounced. Do you understand that? Until he is pronounced.
Well, I just don't see any reason in waiting any longer.
Excuse me, Doctor. This just came. It looks important.
I'll get back to you. Trap, excuse me, you got a minute? What's up?
hell is this?
An injunction to keep us from terminating LaSalle's life support.
Who filed this?
Lefkowitz team. If LaSalle dies, Lefkowitz might be charged with manslaughter. With aggressive life support, we can keep LaSalle alive. That would get Lefkowitz off the hot seat.
No, you're going to have to go nose to nose with these guys and get them to change their minds.
Me?
The kid's life is at stake.
The kid's your patient.
That is true. But the injunction is against you. Jackpot, what the hell's wrong with the dog?
Good boy. I taught him to play dead.
Oh, very funny, very funny. Don't ever do that again. Look, I'll talk to them about lifting the injunction.
No, we'll both go.
Pick you up in 20 minutes.
Look at you. You're not the same as you were yesterday. You're looking smarter. You're on the move and going your own way. And JCPenney's changed with you.
The Wyndham Collection, a coordinated career wardrobe of tailored jackets, skirts, and fine silk blouses, designed to help you take on life's many challenges with style. Wyndham at JCPenney.
You're looking smarter than ever. JCPenney.
You know me. My flute playing has won me international acclaim. But when I'm not recognized, I don't get my Irish up. I get up the American Express card. It's a quiet instrument, but people listen.
To apply for the card, look for an application and take one.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
The story of Soft Batch, the cookies so soft they taste like they're right from the oven.
You know, Mom, some people call our soft batch cookies homemade.
They're elf-made. Just because we elves make soft batch cookies soft and chewy, like cookies right from the oven, and 8 yummy flavors, there's no need to call them homemade.
I'm sure folks meant it as a compliment.
Keebler Soft Batch cookies, oatmeal raisin, sugar, peanut butter, and chocolate chip. So soft, they taste like they're right from the oven.
Trapper John, M.D., will continue.
When it's important, America turns to CBS News for objectivity, accuracy, reliability. Watch the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Tuesday, you'll love the Lucy Arnay Show.
Go home.
Is that how a radio psychologist deals with family?
You are acting like a child. I am not acting like a child.
This is CBS.
Over the years, Washington Mutual has helped more families own their own homes than any other financial institution in the entire state. That was true again last year. But today's Washington Mutual will also lend you money for virtually anything your family needs. A new car, a bigger boat, vacations, even college educations. The friend of the family. More than a slogan. Let us prove it.
KIRO, your official Emerald City Marathon station.
I'm Linda Coldown in the Eyewitness Newsroom. Coming up on the news at 11, the story of Easter celebrations around the world as the faithful mark the day Christ is said to have risen from the dead. A former Nixon aide imprisoned after the Watergate scandal spent his Easter Sunday at McNeil Island Penitentiary. Charles Colson is now a minister preaching the virtue of virtue. Also at 11, the fascinating story of a murder mystery among the super rich. Plus, a look at £250 million of foreign relations on the hoof. All at 11.
News, sports, weather. The KIRO Evening News with Gary Justice. Weeknights at 6:30.
You making house calls or just collecting autographs?
Well, as a matter of fact...
Anything I can do. This is that doctor I told you about.
And I'm Dr. McIntyre.
Right, we spoke on the phone. I'm Cal Washington, team counsel.
Cal Washington. 400 meters, right?
Until the legs gave way.
I thought you looked familiar.
Hey, look, what do you guys want?
Let me handle this. As I explained on the phone, gentlemen, we can't let you use Mr. Lascelles as a heart donor. I'm very sorry.
Are you aware that he's clinically dead?
I know all about Mr. Lascelles' present condition, but the law varies on your interpretation of death.
I'm not making a legal judgment. I'm making a medical one.
I can find plenty of doctors willing to challenge you.
Now, look, gentlemen, let's just get right down to the bottom line, okay? What we're trying to do here is save a kid's life.
Hey, look, Doc, I'm sorry about the kid. But my life's worth something, too, and if LaSalle dies, I get hit with a manslaughter charge.
LaSalle is being kept alive by machines, for God's sake. How long do you think we can keep him going?
As long as necessary, Doctor. At least until the DA decides to lose interest in this case.
You know, I have a hunch that your attitudes might change if you met the boy. Why don't you come down to the hospital with us?
Not a chance. I'm not going to be a sucker for your tears and your violins. I'm a hockey player. That's what I do. And that's all I do.
A very expensive hockey player, I might add, gentlemen. The team has a huge investment in that man. We can't afford to lose him.
So it all comes down to dollars and cents, right?
The injunction stays. Gentlemen, it was nice talking to you.
Well, we really handled him, didn't we?
Where do you find these places?
What?
Where do you find these places?
It's a hangout. Look, after a game, you're really up. You're wired. I don't want to come down right away, so we all come here. After the alcohol in our blood turns to blotto, pour espresso down our throats until our legs stiffen up again. They're nice folks.
I'm sorry, what did you say after hangout? This is perfect.
Now we can talk.
Well, what is it you wanted to say?
I'm not sure yet. You start.
I'm getting to know you, and you're sensitive, caring. That's why I just don't understand your attitude.
My attitude.
About Jamie Bruce, the little boy with the bad heart. You know, if Dr. McIntyre doesn't find a donor soon...
Terrific. A message from McIntyre?
Oh, no. A message from me.
Okay. Let's suppose that I agree to it. Okay? Let's suppose that they pronounce LaSalle dead. What happens? The little boy gets a new heart?
Right.
And I get 5 years for manslaughter.
Oh, come on, Lep. The chances of you getting convicted or even indicted are pretty slim.
Oh, you're going to promise me then that that won't happen?
That's not the point.
That is the point. That's exactly the point. Look, in a couple of years, the little boy with the new heart dies. But I'm still back there in the slammer.
It's not quite how it works.
Listen, I'm not stupid. Come on, I read. And from everything I've ever read, I know that people don't live very long who's had that type of operation.
Well, you're wrong. There are people alive right now, today, who've had a heart transplant 10, 12, 14 years ago. And we have every reason to believe they'll keep right on living. Jamie is a 12-year-old boy. The least he deserves is a chance.
Jamie. That's what's been on your mind all this time, isn't it? Isn't it? Jamie, not me.
No, I just think you should reconsider.
What's really important to you? This operation or me?
It's not one or the other. They're priorities.
Yeah. And I'm not one of yours.
Pharmacist on call. Please go to CCU staff. Pharmacist on call. CCU staff. Dr. Peel, please call your office.
Hello. You're up early?
Here you go. Talk the team into it. The injunction's been lifted. So you can tell your stinking doctors that they can have their stinking operation.
It's wonderful. Hey, love, where are you off to?
You got what you wanted, right? Right?
Oh, wait a minute. Am I going to see you again?
You won. Isn't that enough?
I didn't win anything. Look, you just did a wonderful thing.
Yeah, terrific. They're going to love me in San Quentin.
I just discovered something so different. These Always Maxi Pads. They actually help me feel drier, and that's something I never expected a pad to do. This special material they call dry weave traps virtually all the wetness inside the pad, away from me. So I feel drier than I ever expected.
Always. Maxis, thin maxis, minis, and panty liners. A drier kind of protection than you ever expected from a pad.
By me, that's not just different. That's better.
The good life in America means reaching for your dream.
The Equitable now offers a whole range of financial products and services that not only protect a young family's future, but can actually grow in value like any good investment.
We are the Equitable. Yes, we'll help you live the good life. We are the Equitable. We can help your dreams come true.
Staying fit and trim isn't all hard work. I have a good time. And I drink milk. It has nearly half the calcium I need, more than half the riboflavin. Milk's beautiful nutrition, without a lot of calories. Only an eighth of my day's total. You can't just count calories. The trick is making your calories count. Milk. It does a body good.
Yep, folks get pretty excited about our spring sale. Why, I can just see it now.
Oh, I just love sales.
We're getting a John Deere riding mower? Whoa!
You say lawn tractors on sale?
Yep, John Deere's cut prices on just about
everything. But you better hurry. Sale ends May 31st.
See your participating dealer and ask about our 90-day same-as-cash plan.
Anything from the lab?
Right here. His blood gases are getting worse. The man from pulmonary was here a few minutes ago. He'll be standing by if you need him.
All right, I want everyone on standby. We're going to have to get a little more aggressive. I want him fine-tuned before we do him tomorrow. Let's start him on triple antibiotics. And get respiratory therapy down here. I want him suctioned out every half hour.
Did you lose something?
Yeah, where's the cream? Yeah, those little things. Where are they?
You used them all?
Well, then get some more, will you, please? Damn, I hate black coffee.
You should. You drink too much of it. Go on home. You look terrible.
No way. Staying right here. Nothing's going to happen to my patient before we open him up tomorrow.
Do me a favor, will you? Try and relax.
You're right. I'm sorry. The Trapper's as uptight as I am.
I really appreciate you guys coming over. I had too much on my mind to go to sleep early tonight.
All right. What's the game? Let's play hearts.
Oh, come on, Stan.
What? What did they say? What?
Hearts. It's the last thing John wants to think about tonight.
I'm sorry, John. How about poker? 5-card draw?
That's about a deal.
Hey, I've got a joke.
Not now, Stan.
Oh, really? King Kong falls off the top of the Empire State Building, and 2 heart surgeons rush over to try to save him. So they cut open his chest, and they jump inside, and they start cardiac massage.
One more card, please.
And then one yells, "We need more help in here." "How much help do you need?" they shout back. "Well, send us 3 more heart surgeons, because 5 hearts beats a pair."
This is some hand. Can't you do better than this?
I'll be right back. Don't you guys get it? Hearts beat a pair?
Play, Stan.
Boy, some sense of humor you guys have.
All set? Everything all right?
Right as it's gonna be.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. Just fine, thank you.
Okay. Good luck.
If you want me, I'll be right across the hall.
Sternotomy, so. Turn on the music. Loud.
And the tenor of the room turned to bass. My goodness, it's so quiet in here you can cut it with a knife. Kelly, how about a little music? I heard this terrible joke last night. Seems that King Kong fell off the Empire State Building and...
We heard it.
That's much better. I knew you'd heard. I was just dying to hear it again myself. Okay, everybody ready? Easy does it. Here we go.
Major vessels are all isolated. I'm excising the heart now. Through the left atrial wall. Mark down the time. 10 after 10 a.m.
Supervisor, please call your office. 6th floor nursing supervisor, call your office.
Mrs. Bruce? I just got a call from surgery. They're just about finished.
How is Jamie?
Well, apparently everything went extremely well. They're going to be taking him directly to ICU. Should be sitting up in a few hours.
Sitting up?
Yeah.
You mean he's all right? He's really all right?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, tomorrow we intend to have him out of bed for a few minutes. How does that grab you?
It's wonderful. I can't believe it. He's really all over.
Congratulations, Trapper. It couldn't have gone more smoothly.
You were magnificent, Doctor. Really magnificent.
We're all magnificent. But you get cleaned up and meet me in my office in 10 minutes. I'm buying.
It better be the good stuff. We earned it.
You weren't that good.
Oh, Dr. McIntyre, I understand Mr. Slocum invited the press. I'm sure they're going to want a statement from you.
So do it, Doctor. You're the star.
Yes, of course I am.
Arnie, wait up. I got something to show you. You're gonna love this. The ad campaign. I've worked it all out. I've gone for variety, balance, demographics, scientific approach, something for every segment of the population. Now, here, take a look at this.
Forget it, Stan.
I think that you're gonna... What do you mean, forget it?
There's no need to buy advertising anymore. That heart transplant brought us all the attention we'll ever need. A regular media blitz.
Come on, honey, you gotta get up and get out of bed again today. Okay?
I'm tired.
Hi.
Hi.
How's he doing?
Well, Jamie won't get out of bed to go to the bathroom.
Lose my breath when I go to the bathroom.
Better get back on your feet soon, pal. Those dogs downstairs need somebody to walk them.
Jamie, I'll be back in just a few minutes, okay?
Jamie, listen to me. If you work really hard at this, you're going to be walking and running and maybe even playing all those sports you love. It's all up to you now.
I don't know.
You think about it. Brought you a present. This stuff belonged to the guy whose heart you've got. And I would be willing to bet my bottom dollar that he'd have wanted you to take care of it for him.
He was a hockey player?
Luke LaSalle? Let me tell you something, pal. He wasn't a hockey player. He was the hockey player. The man was a superstar.
Honest?
Yeah. Hey, you know why they called him Luke? Because he could skate loops around anybody on the ice. And he was a bright guy, too. I mean, he had straight A's in college. This guy was a real winner, you know? And he was a genuine hero. And after all, he did save your life, didn't he? Anybody who met him loved him. I know I did. You're a very lucky young man, Jimmy. You've got his heart.
Hey, guys, watch out for Timmy's leg.
Driving a bus isn't the easiest thing in the world. Fill it with 30 active kids, and you've got to work to stay calm. That's why Sanka is the only coffee that works for me. I enjoy it. And most important, Sanka doesn't have all that caffeine that could make me frazzled. That way, I know I'm doing the best job I can, getting my precious cargo home.
The coffee that lets you be your best. Sanka brand decaffeinated coffee.
Mom, I'm gonna race in the Grand Prix.
That's nice, Billy. Be home for supper.
This is a big race. Okay, Energizer, don't let me down.
In the lead, it's Billy Woodruff's car, powered by the Energizer. No leading battery lasts longer. You can't beat it.
Mom, can Cindy stay for supper?
Cindy?
She came with the trophy.
The Energizer, nothing outlasts it. It's power beyond your wildest dreams.
You need the right stuff to make it in the business world today. Companies have to change. At ITT, we've become a leaner company, more aggressive. We're putting more into high technology and strong, growing ITT businesses. At ITT, It's a different world today. Take another look at us.
Wednesday, Billy D. Williams and Ken Wall, two crooks who got caught.
I've never been so embarrassed.
And now they're working for the cops?
This ought to be fun.
Double dare. Then Nicholas Serovi and Mary Lou Henner. He's a small-town cop searching for his sister.
I bet you have a short Christmas card list.
Caught in a murderous mystery. Stark. 2 premieres Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Miss Loretta Lynn.
Trapped by poverty, her man's love and stunning talent made her a legend. Sissy Spacek in her Oscar-winning role, Coal Miner's Daughter.
Tomorrow night, a killer's choice of victims pushes Chris and Mary Beth into an unholy alliance. Cagney and Lacey, tomorrow night at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
Monday on Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
I want you to kill someone.
Lee's next assignment.
Oh, no!
Eliminate Amanda King. Then when the plumber proposes...
Oh, let me see the ring.
Will Kate take the plunge?
Oh.
On Kate and Allie. And Newhart Falls Spray to a cemetery scan.
A swamp? We was pleasantly surprised, too.
Then,
I don't see holding hands with a criminal.
when a killer murders a nun, a real godfather tries to force an unholy alliance.
Stay out of this case.
But who will win in a deadly race to catch the killer? Monday.
Tomorrow on CBS.
In the news tonight, a busy Easter around the world as religion and politics mix it up. We'll tell you why Easter here was a bit gray, and we'll have the picture story of the last Sonic shootout at the Dome. I'm Linda Coldiron. Eyewitness News is next.
Space Capsule, brought to you by the Bond, where the choices are.
The first American astronauts, Donald Deke Slayton, Alan Shepard, Walter Schirra, Virgil Gus Grissom, John Glenn Jr., Gordon Cooper, and Malcolm Scott Carpenter. The test pilots were part of Project Mercury, America's first manned spaceflight program that got underway in 1958.
Register for space trivia in the men's department at the Bond and win a trip on British Airways Supersonic Concorde.
The difference is visible. The difference is visible. Visible difference from Elizabeth Arden. Penetrates moisture 20 cell layers deep, almost to where new skin is born. And in just 14 to 21 days, a dramatic change will take place in your face. The difference is visible. Only Elizabeth Arden can call a face cream visible difference. Your gift with any $7.50 Elizabeth Arden purchase.
Available now at the Bond.
Me, married to Kim.
Yes, Bob popped the question to Kim, but it could be you saying, I do, to a diamond ring. Kim's giving Bob a piece of jewelry as a wedding gift. What will it be? Watch as the world turns the week of April 8th to find out. Send the answer by April 16th to KIRO's Wedding Contest, P.O. Box C 21326, Seattle, Washington. A winner will be drawn from the correct answers and will receive a beautiful diamond ring.
Watch us get married.
You're on KIRO TV.
Happy Easter from KIRO TV.
Now, KIRO Eyewitness News, the news specialist, with Linda Coldiron, Gary Spinell, sports, Jay Cassio, weather. Live from the newsroom in Seattle, KIRO Eyewitness News update.
Good evening. This Easter Sunday hatched a surprise egg in the world of politics. It was a proposal from the Soviet Union's top man for a summit meeting with President Reagan and a concession on arms reductions. The announcement came from Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev and was broadcast over Soviet television. Gorbachev said that the Soviet Union today was freezing the deployment of intermediate-range nuclear missiles in Eastern Europe. In return, he urged the U.S. to freeze its research on Star Wars. Gorbachev also called for a summit meeting with the president before November. President Reagan was told about the Gorbachev statement this morning in Santa Barbara. White House spokesman Larry Speake said the president was not surprised by the summit proposal, which was hinted at when Gorbachev assumed power. But Speake said the White House isn't all that thrilled about the freeze on nuclear arms. He says the Soviets hold a 10-to-1 advantage over the U.S. in intermediate-range missiles and that the U.S. would continue to deploy its Pershing and cruise missiles in Western Europe. Other foreign policy experts viewed the Soviet announcement with some skepticism.
I think it's an effort to perhaps improve the climate and to indicate that the Soviet Union is prepared to take certain steps. But as I say, this one really is basically meaningless. It's of no military significance.
Well, I think that this is just something that we could expect from the Soviets trying to influence public opinion, particularly in Europe. And it sounds like a warmed-over freeze to me.
There will be certainly other offers from Gorbachev, so I wouldn't treat this as the last word.
Some U.S. politicians dubbed the Gorbachev proposal as nothing more than Soviet propaganda. The superpower leaders weren't the only ones playing politics on this Easter day. So was Congress, and they went to Moscow to do it. House Speaker Tip O'Neill and 12 other congressmen arrived in Moscow today with a peace mission in mind. The bipartisan delegation hopes to meet with Soviet President Gorbachev. They'll be in the Soviet Union until Wednesday. There's another area of the world where Easter Day meant a day of tense peace. It's near the border of Nicaragua and Honduras, where a group of National Guardsmen from Texas are getting ready for military maneuvers. Martha Teichner is there.
The language is Spanish, but these are Texans, members of the Texas National Guard, spending their Easter in Honduras, at the edge of the most sensitive area in this hemisphere. Instead of going to summer training camp this year, they are the nation's only National Guard unit, taking part in Big Pine 3, the U.S. Army's massive military exercises with the Hondurans.
The very fact these men are here, in sight of the Nicaraguan border, has the effect of sending a threatening message to the Sandinistas.
It is the first time the U.S. military has trained with tanks on Central American soil. The Sandinistas have them, Soviet tanks manned by Soviet-trained crews.
We will be forced to use certain routes, the routes that the Hondurans will want us to use. And they want us to use that because they can pick us off better.
In next week's exercises, the Texas Guardsmen will act as the aggressors, in this case pretend they are Sandinistas moving into Honduras. They have been rehearsing Soviet-style tactics so that the Honduran army can practice anti-tank defense against the kind of assault they could expect from Nicaragua. Sandinista radio stations have been calling the National Guardsmen Texas mercenaries. In fact, the Guardsmen are training in the 130-degree sun to fight for U.S. interests anywhere. But on this day of peace, the implied message to the Sandinistas, the Texas National Guard could well be fighting here. Martha Teichner, CBS News, Camp El Alamo, Las Hormigas, Honduras.
The fight against war was the theme of Pope John Paul's message on this Easter Sunday. The pontiff delivered that message in 47 languages to some 250,000 people in St. Peter's Square. John Paul told the young people they have a special responsibility to work for peace. This was only part of the Easter celebration. In Jerusalem, the faithful observed the day in a variety of ways. There were the traditional church services in the Basilica, and at the same time, some worshipers observed Palm Sunday as part of the Orthodox faith, whose calendar runs a week later. And other pilgrims chose to mark the day on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, where Christ is said to have performed some of his greatest miracles. And there was an extraordinary Easter Sunday gathering in South Africa today. Some 2 million blacks celebrated the 75th anniversary of the formation of the Zionist Christian Church. They gathered in a huge gathering there for the celebration of a religion that is a blend of traditional Christian ideals and tribal customs. And as part of that religion, the followers shun alcohol, tobacco, and political activism. Now, political activism has been a major subject of concern there, but the group's shunning of activism was fine with their guest speaker, African President.
We must not allow them to burn our houses and destroy our property.
In the meantime, a nearby province was racked with more violence as 20,000 mourners leaving a funeral for riot victims clashed with police there. One of today's most unusual Easter services took place at McNeil Island. The man leading the service found religion after being convicted in the Watergate scandal. Karen O'Leary attended the service.
He served 7 months for a Watergate-related crime, and Charles Colson once thought he'd never go back to prison. But this morning, he boarded a ferry to ride to the state penitentiary at McNeil Island. Colson is free now, a born-again Christian, and the leader of an organization which brings religion to prison inmates. On this Easter Sunday, Colson and singer Madeline Mims led a service full of spirited song. About 80 prisoners joined in. Colson praised their courage in coming. He says he knows from personal experience that religious inmates often face ridicule from fellow prisoners.
Listen, anybody ever comes in and tells you it's easy to be a Christian in prison, you get up and throw your hymn book at them. Not true. It's tough. Tough guys pump the weights, 350 pounds? Huh. Tough guys are the guys that look at this book and say, I believe.
These prisoners have little influence over their own lives, but Colson told them they needn't feel powerless as long as they have God. Chuck Colson will be back in prison next week and next Easter. It's now his calling, he says, to spread the gospel to people behind bars. Karen O'Leary, KIRO, Eyewitness News.
Up next, a crime story right out of a late-night soap opera and a story of heroics from North Carolina.
Hi, mighty good-looking truck.
Brand new Mitsubishi Mighty Max Sport.
Sport, huh?
Yeah, sport wheels, 5-speed, chrome bumpers.
Chrome bumpers, my favorite.
Well, check out the interior.
Must have cost a lot.
No, but in fact, I've got enough left to get us something to eat.
You got a deal, Sport.
All right.
At only $61.99, the new Mitsubishi Mighty Max Sport takes you where you want to be.
So how long you been into chrome bumpers?
Wouldn't your family love dessert more with the extra creamy taste of extra creamy Cool Whip? As a matter of fact,
with extra creamy, I extra love it. I love it extra more.
Extra creamy Cool Whip has that fresh Cool Whip taste, plus an added extra, real fresh cream. So...
Shouldn't they love it more with Cool Whip?
I extra love it extra more.
It's Joe Albertson's Supermarket.
I've got 36 seconds to find the crouton.
Oh, we can do it in 12.
Oh.
It's Joe Albertson's Supermarket.
What do you recommend for this?
An ice pack.
Oh.
And medium rare for those.
It's Joe Albertson's.
Allow me. It's a jungle in there.
So we go out of our way for you.
Family, I'm not going to waste the day watching sports. Instead, I will painstakingly evaluate our insurance to make sure we're saving every penny we can.
Allstate makes it easy to compare insurance. Just drive over to Sears and drop the whole mess off at Allstate. We'll do everything we can to save you money. Meanwhile, you just browse.
Hey, you guys watching the game, huh?
No, we're painstakingly evaluating our insurance. Go get your hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
An heroic last stand in North Carolina today brought a raging brush fire under control. Hundreds of firefighters made the stand at the Alligator River. It took them 5 hours to save the town of Gum Neck, which was threatened by flames that devoured 80 square miles of coastal woodlands. Helicopters were also brought in to help to try to stop the fire, which has headed north. The Justice Department has come out today with its latest figures on crime. The report, based on interviews with crime victims, says that the overall number of crimes fell by 4.5%. The figures show that burglaries are down 11%. Other thefts from homes are down 7%. But the overall rate of violent crime is up. The raw numbers show a marked increase in rape, robbery with injury, and aggravated assault. It plays like an episode of Dallas. A wealthy aristocrat accused of murdering his wife so he can get her money and run off with his mistress. But it's not make-believe, it's the script for a real-life drama in Rhode Island. Steve Young reports.
Clarendon Court, the Von Bulow place, is still box office.
Today, of course, is the home of the Von Bulow family, which you may have heard something about in the news recently.
It was here that Martha Crawford Von Bulow, her friends called her Sonny, lapsed into an irreversible coma in 1980. Once again, a jury must decide. Did her husband Klaus try to kill her with insulin injections so he could get her money and marry his mistress, or did she cause the coma by taking drugs and alcohol? The first trial of the Danish-born aristocrat lasted 2 months.
The jury finds the defendant, Klaus Von Bulow, guilty.
Von Bulow was sentenced to 30 years in jail but remained free on $1 million bail, living in his wife's Fifth Avenue apartment. Then his conviction was overturned because the state failed to get a search warrant before testing drugs found in Von Bülow's black bag. The first trial unfolded in Newport, the playground of the rich. The retrial will be held in Providence, a working-class town that can hardly wait for the publicity. Once again, Von Bülow's chief accusers are his stepchildren who say they seek justice for their mother.
She's serving a life sentence. She'll never open her eyes again or recognize anybody. She'll never talk to her children. She'll never see her grandchildren. What do I want for him? I think he ought to be in jail.
I admit to great fatigue and suffering during the last 3 years, and there are moments when I just wish it would go away. So there's a dichotomy, but I want to get exonerated.
It is likely to be June before the verdict is in. Steve Young, CBS News, Providence.
The final chapter of the Wami massacre begins tomorrow. Attorneys will make their opening statements in the trial of Tony Ng, the third suspect in the killings. 2 other men have already been convicted in the slayings of 13 people at the Wami Gambling Club. Today's 2 religious holidays were the theme of Seattle's weekly protests against South Africa. Protesters marched in a light rain at the home of South Africa's honorary consul. Then a Catholic celebrating Easter and a Jew observing Passover walked past the no trespassing sign and were arrested. Now, from a child's point of view, of course, the best part of Easter is the Easter egg hunt. And what may have been the ultimate Easter egg hunt was staged today on Mercer Island. The setting was the home of baby doctor David Walter. Some 3,600 eggs had been hidden around the grounds, but the really special thing about this particular gathering was that all of these children were brought into the world by Dr. Walter. For the last 10 years, the good doctor has put on these egg hunts as a way to keep in touch with his children and watch them grow.
Pity the poor chicken who had to lay 3,600 eggs. My golly.
I think they use more than one chicken.
Chickens do the work and the rabbits get the credit. Now, why is that on this holiday, huh?
It's a long story. I'll tell you later.
Okay, well, off the air. All right, we got a story tonight. A lot of golf. The Mariners return home, and the Sonics play their last game in the Kingdome, and it weren't a good one. We'll talk about it when we come back.
The BMW 5 Series is composed of 2 luxury sedans. The 528e, that embarrassed the automotive establishment with sheer technological prowess, and the 535i, that embarrassed it with sheer performance. Which one should you choose? That depends on which part of the automotive establishment you'd rather embarrass. For a test drive, contact your Puget Sound BMW dealers.
Where is your Ingle Nook?
It's where you go for that special time to have some fun or just unwind. It's that peaceful place you have in mind. Where is your Ingle Nook? It could be a hideaway where you go to dream or dine or play, to sail a boat or read a book. Where is your Ingle Nook?
Right here. Where else? I like the tax deduction on my IRA, but I don't want to be locked into one investment. You know, what if things change?
You ought to call Dean Witter. Dean Witter's IRA 2000 lets you move your money around in any combination of investments. Stocks, mutual funds, unit trusts, CDs, whatever helps you earn more. Dean Witter.
Ask how you can make the most of your IRA. Call 1-800-THE-DEAN for your free IRA investment kit. It's worth asking about. Dean Witter, a member of the Sears Financial Network.
On April 14th, 4,000 of your friends and neighbors will go for a run, the run of their lives. It's the Emerald City Marathon. KIRO follows the people in your neighborhood competing in 26.2 miles of exhilaration, exhaustion, and excitement. Who will finish and who will finish first? Join KIRO April 14th for exclusive coverage only on Channel 7.
News, sports, weather. The KIRO Evening News with Gary Justice. Weeknights at 6:30.
Gary Spinell has just given me a technical professional analysis to tonight's Sonics game. He said they look terrible.
Close, very close. I'm not one to sit here and give the home team certainly a bad time, but telling it like it is, as Linda said, the Sonics are just playing out the remainder of the NBA season. Game they should have won tonight at home. They lost to Phoenix 125-110. The Suns played last night. They should have been a little tired. And with only 9 men tonight. Now, the Sonics were without Sigma and Brains, but hey, they should have done better. Jumper by Al Wood ties it at 17, but here's the guy that killed the Supers. Kyle Macy had 25 tonight. Tommy Chambers took matters in his own hands. He was the bright spot tonight. He had 38 points. Here's another coming up from Chambers right here. That's all net. Late in the game, it's 83-69 after that hoop. One of the bright spots for Seattle lately, the shooting of John Sunvold. Sonny right there. Another player who has done well and matured well this season, Tim McCormick. The final basket in the Kingdome, who do you think it was tonight? You'd never guess in a million years. Not Sunvold, John Sweitz off the bench to score an historic point. How about that? Congratulations to John. Sonics didn't do so well. Now, with the win, Phoenix is in the NBA playoffs, and they'll meet the LA Lakers. Who are playing like they're in a different league. Today, a 135-133 win over the Portland Trail Blazers, their 27th win out of their last 31 games. Not a bad record. Jimmy Paxson brings the ball down. It's batted away by James Worthy. Byron Scott has the ball off to Magic Johnson. Magic's got 2. More good Laker defense. Watch the other end. This is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with a block right there. All right, Rambis has got the ball. He gets it down to Scott, who gets it to Worthy. Look at this. Bingo. No, more of that. Kiki Vandeweghe along the baseline will tie the game at 75. The Blazers came from 19 points back. Here's Magic again, the steal. And at the other end, how he does it, I don't know, but he does it game after game. Lakers lead by 11, 92-81. Portland Sam Bowie goes to the line on the next play right here. Misses the shot, eventually gets the ball back. And we're going to be tied at 124-124. Overtime. In the overtime, Worthy will get the feed from McAdoo. Great highlights here. And will get the jam, and the Lakers will go on and win it 135-133. Here are the other scores. First, the Seattle-Phoenix score. San Antonio is the winner tonight over Houston. Artis Gilmore had 32. Detroit down Milwaukee. It was Boston over New York. Alex English scored 42 as Denver down Golden State. And there's the Lakers score finally, 135-133 over Portland, that in overtime. Well, the Mariners, as we switch to baseball, played the Chicago Cubs to an 8-8 tie in Denver. You say, hey, there's no ties in baseball. Alvin Davis and Phil Bradley homered for Seattle. The M's had trailed 8-5 when Bradley tied the game with a 3-run shot in the last inning. The game was called so both teams could catch planes. Well, they caught a plane to Seattle, the Mariners did, and we were there. See how many of the guys you recognize. There's Dave Henderson, Salome Barojas behind him, Domingo Ramos, followed by Barry Bonnell, Jim Beattie. I can get a few of them, Eddie Vanderberg. Don't forget, the preceding start, opening night, 6:50 against the Oakland A's. Tomorrow, the Mariners square off against the Washington Huskies. There's Gorman Thomas. Somebody tell Gorman there's no sun here in Seattle. Maybe there will be. How about a Jason sun tomorrow, maybe? Put the sunglasses back on, Gorman. Alice Miller takes home the biggest prize in the LPGA circuit today, winning the Dinah Shore Golf Classic. Jan Stevenson came close. 3 shots. She missed the win by today. Take a look at some of the play today. This is Miller. This is a birdie putt on the 12th and puts her 11 under par. Stevenson keeps pace with a birdie putt of her own at 13. She goes, get in there, get in there. Thank you. Goes 9 under par right there. Jan's so happy when she makes these. Judy Clark was 3rd. A birdie putt on the 15 puts her 9 under. Nice going, Judy. Stevenson again, another one. A birdie putt on 16. That puts her 10 strokes under par. Miller makes the birdie putt at 16, and she goes 12 under. She leads by 2. Stevenson comes right back. You know, that's too far. She won't get this one. Right here. She's 10 under par, but Miller makes the birdie on 18 to finish at 13 under par. And the weather today, speaking of sunshine, 100 degrees tonight at Rancho Mirage, California. There she is, the winner. On the men's side, Joey Sindelar. I never heard of him before today. Won the Greater Greensboro Open with a 3 under par 69. Today's final round was played on the 18th hole, really. Isaiah Oeka and Craig Stadler could have tied there, but they couldn't, and I'll show you why right here. Here is Sindelar making his putt, about an 8-footer right here. You will see it drop in. Now, next up is Stadler, who can tie if he just hits this putt right here. Craig's good at this normally. You've seen him win the Masters before with great putting, but not today. Maybe he's looking forward to the Masters next week. And Aoki had a chance too, but this is a long one. This is a birdie putt for him. He had to sink the birdie putt to do it. He got it down at par, but it wasn't enough. Here's the shot of the day coming up, though Sindelar wins it. Look at Ed Fiore. Bangs it off the green and into the cup. Fiore finished in 5th spot. Joey Sindelar today is the winner. USFL, As we move on to football, 31-25. The New Jersey Generals beat Houston. The story of the game was Herschel Walker rushing for a USFL record 233 yards. Anything you do in the USFL. And here's the record, 4 little yards right here. Nice effort by Herschel Walker today in the USFL. Quickly, before we go, a tennis note. Jimmy Connors picked up $25,000 today, despite not playing. He had a back injury, a pulled muscle in his lower back. He got $25,000. John McEnroe gets first place because Connors pulled out in a championship game in Chicago. McEnroe got $50,000, and he didn't even have to play.
That's not bad. That run by Herschel Walker was impressive. It was almost good as Flutie's run backwards a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, just about. I was going to pull that one out. Compare the two, but I thought now we'll leave Doug alone.
Yeah, poor baby.
Poor baby.
Thanks.
Okay.
Speaking of poor babies, up next, Jay Casho will be around to explain why your Easter didn't turn out as he predicted. And then we'll show you the real meaning of international trade.
Frederick & Nelson invites you to a very special down event. A sale on light and luxurious Olympic white goose down comforters. All natural, box quilted with plump pockets of soft white down. Every size from twin to king is 50% off. For example, full queen size, normally $400, is now $199.99. Nothing lets you sleep so comfortably, and no time is better to buy than now during Frederick & Nelson's down event. Savings of 50%.
About the time Car and Driver magazine stated that at Audi, the future of the automobile is being decided, so many people decided to buy the Audi 5000S. It became America's fastest-selling European sedan. And now you can lease an Audi 5000S for $298 a month.
How you get along in this old world depends a lot on your personal financial strategy. That's why Washington Mutual wants you to know about a new kind of insurance called Universal Life. It's an insurance investment that pays a high tax-deferred return in the here and now, and it's insurance protection for your family later. Personal security, family security. Learn the secret of Universal Life from Washington Mutual, a friend of the family.
It's Joe Albertson's supermarket.
I've got 36 seconds to find the crouton.
Oh, we can do it in 12.
Oh, it's Joe Albertson's supermarket.
So I can get hot French bread every afternoon.
Yep, every afternoon.
It's Joe Albertson. First of the year. Maybe next year.
So we go out of our way for you.
Speaking of snow, City of Anchorage has I don't know where this story came from, but I just read them. The City of Anchorage has a tough problem, we're told, what to do with all the snow it plows off downtown streets. The snow has too much dirt and oil and other pollutants to just push it into the water somewhere, so the city is looking at building a giant snow melting plant. It could handle about 200 truckloads of snow an hour and automatically separate the sludge from the clean water. And that's about the only thing we didn't have today was snow.
I was just going to say, if I predicted snow, I probably would have been a better
I had a crow here for you, but he left. He had to go home.
What can I say? We didn't get as much sunshine today as we thought, but tomorrow's another day, and I think weather-wise, you'll like it. Let's see what it's doing out there right now, though. At SeaTac Airport, they're currently calling clear skies, and I'll tell you why we have those now and not earlier in just a second. The temperature is 48 degrees, the humidity at 93%, the winds from the west at 6, and the barometer is currently 30.22 and rising. Our high temperature today is 62 degrees, and we got that just before the sun went down. Low, overnight low, 43. The records were set in 1977 at 69 degrees, and in 1952 at 29. Some temperatures around the state at 11 o'clock include 45 degrees in Bellingham, 47 down here in Olympia. Out on the coast in Hoquiam, 50 degrees. On the eastern side of the mountains, 47 in Spokane, 52 in Walla Walla, 44 in Wenatchee, and 54 degrees. Or actually, this is Walla Walla at 44 and 54 in Wenatchee. Well, there's our satellite picture. The showers we saw today came from an upper-level disturbance from the south going up the north. Our high pressure is rebuilding right now, giving us the clear skies. But the onshore winds should bring some fog and low clouds into the area tomorrow morning. By afternoon, though, the high pressure should dissipate those clouds, and we're expecting sunny skies and a high of about 65 degrees. In the mountains, our forecast for tomorrow calls for sunny skies, the freezing level near 10,000 feet, variable winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, and the afternoon pass temperature is pretty nice, 50 degrees. On the marine forecast, pretty nice winds out there, very calm. Coastal waters report variable winds tomorrow, 5 to 15 miles or knots. In the strait, westerly winds 5 to 15 knots, and in the inland waters, variable 5 to 15 as well. On the national scene, take a quick look. Very clear skies around the country today. A few thunderstorms down here in Texas, a little rain out here on the East Coast. Other than that, a good-looking nation tonight. Let's look at our own forecast. It looks pretty good as well. Do we have that ready? We'll give them a second. There it is. Partly cloudy skies with a low of 45 degrees. The wind's light and variable. Tomorrow, morning clouds, and then the sun will come out. Be a pretty nice day with a high near 65. And let's see the 5-day forecast. It's not looking too bad. We have a chance of showers on Wednesday, and then afternoons with the sun and mornings with the clouds on Thursdays and Fridays. How do you like that?
Doesn't sound too bad at all.
Doesn't sound too bad at all.
Not for next weekend.
Next weekend, and I won't be here next weekend.
Oh, that's right. You're leaving for a while,
I
aren't
will
you?
be leaving. I'll be going to someplace nice and sunny.
And becoming a married man.
And becoming a married man.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
My fondest hopes are dashed. I'm sorry.
You still have Gary.
That ain't much.
I don't know what Mrs. Gary will say about that. And finally today, it was moving day at SeaTac Airport for a herd of Holstein heifers bound for China. These young beauties are all going to have calves soon. They're bound for Canton, China, as part of a $4 million order for dairy cows from the S&W Export Company of Yelm, Washington. The heifers will board a Boeing 747 about 3 a.m. and begin a 17-hour flight with refueling stops in Alaska and Japan. Refueling, we guess, for the plane. Gives a whole new meaning to coffee, tea, or milk. And that wraps up this edition of Eyewitness News. Have a pleasant week. We'll be back, 2 of us, next week. Bye.
For news 24 hours a day on radio, tune to KIRO News Radio 71. KIRO News Radio 71 and KIRO Eyewitness News are the news specialists.
Some people in Washington are considering a tax on your life and health insurance and pension benefits, now provided by your employer. That could cost you, either in increased taxes or reduced benefits, or both. Tell your elected officials how you feel before they vote to tax your benefits. It's for the birds. America's life and health insurance companies.
Now, only Duncan Hines packs real chocolate chunks in their new Moist Delicious Brownies.
Most kids can't help but help themselves to our Moist Delicious Brownies, Duncan Hines. No way they can help but help themselves to our Moist Delicious Brownies, Duncan Hines.
Of the leading mixes, only new Duncan Hines smoother, creamier batter has real chocolate chunks from Moist Delicious Brownies.
It's a Moist Delicious way to bake your best. You love that. Duncan Hines.
Right.
Rise above the crowd. Drive Calais from Oldsmobile.
Now, at your gallant Minavold dealer. Calais, the Oldsmobile built a new way.
With a new look, a new feel. Front-wheel drive Calais.
An extraordinary car. Sticker price less than you might have imagined.
Rise above the crowd. Rise above the crowd. With a new Calais from Oldsmobile. At your gallant Minavold dealer.
In Seattle,
Puyallup,
Bellevue,
Auburn,
Tacoma,
Linwood,
Everett,
Renton.
Happy Easter from KIRO TV.
Good evening. I'm Charles Osgood with the CBS Sunday Night News. Mikhail Gorbachev, the new Soviet leader, has announced a freeze on deployment of new medium-range missiles aimed at Western Europe in hopes the United States would respond by freezing our deployment of missiles, cruises, and Pershing IIs in Western Europe. This is something U.S. officials knew he was ready to do. Gorbachev also announced he'd be meeting with President Reagan, and that is something his own people didn't know he was ready to do. Bert Quint reports.
The Soviet people got their first hint of a summit meeting tonight. In his statement, read by an announcer on national television, Mr. Gorbachev said he and Mr. Reagan had corresponded about the possibility of a meeting, that both favored it, and that there would be further discussions to determine a time and place. As a gesture of goodwill, the Soviet leader said, the Soviet Union is immediately suspending the deployment of intermediate-range missiles until next November. He called on the United States to respond with a moratorium on Star Wars research, testing, and deployment. House Speaker Thomas P. O'Neill arrived in Moscow earlier today with a bipartisan congressional delegation. It's a reciprocal visit, a delegation from the Soviet Parliament having gone to the United States in March.
We would like to see the United States and the Soviet Union, in spite of their different systems, not only avoid war, but work together for a safer and more prosperous world.
There have been no promises by the Soviets, but the Americans are hoping to meet with Gorbachev on Wednesday. Bert Quint, CBS News, Moscow.
In Santa Barbara, where President Reagan is vacationing, the Russian Easter overture came as no surprise. Gary Schuster reports.
President Reagan was not caught off guard by the content or the timing of the Gorbachev announcement. Mr. Reagan knew from an exchange of letters with the new Soviet leader that both sides favored a summit meeting. Gorbachev's statement did nothing more than tell his Soviet audience of the likelihood of a summit. The immediate Soviet freeze on deployment of intermediate-range missiles until November in Eastern Europe and Asia also was anticipated by the president. The Soviets disclosed such a plan privately to U.S. arms negotiators in Geneva several weeks ago. White House spokesman Larry Speake said the Gorbachev announcement would be carefully studied. Speake said, if they want to freeze, fine, but that's not enough. The next step is to move to reductions. He said the United States would continue to deploy its Pershing II and cruise missiles in Europe to eat away at the 10-to-1 missile edge the Soviets now hold. Reaction from in and outside the administration calls the Soviet move an effort to improve the climate, not much more.
Well, I think that this is just something that we could expect from the Soviets trying to influence public opinion, particularly in Europe. And it sounds like a warmed-over freeze to me.
There will be certainly other offers from Gorbachev, so I wouldn't treat this as the last word.
U.S. officials feel the Gorbachev announcement is aimed at projecting him as a peacemaker. It also puts Mr. Reagan on the spot with European allies for the U.S. to match the Soviet proposal with an arms concession of its own. Gary Schuster, CBS News, Santa Barbara.
United Nations Secretary General Javier Perez de Cuellar, who is trying to put an end to the war between Iran and Iraq, spent the day with Iranian leaders in Tehran, but he came away empty-handed. He was told the Iranians will fight on until the government of Iraq is thrown out.
Duello conflixere mirando, dux vitae mortus.
Each member of the U.S. ski team has their own individual way of going down the mountain. And while they may not agree on what equipment should get them to the bottom, they do agree on what equipment should get them to the top. Subaru, official car of the U.S. ski team since 1976.
AT&T is in trucks, travel, software,
Temps. How? With AT&T Opportunity Calling for Business. It can help small business enjoy big savings on dozens of name brand products just by using AT&T long distance service. Our new catalog is coming to your office. Look for it. AT&T Communications. We can help your business in ways you never thought of.
A North Carolina town in the path of a far-ranging fire has now been saved. More than 50,000 acres near the Atlantic coast have been blackened. But firefighters saved the town of Gum Neck. They stood their ground at the Alligator River. Flames did leap the river, but firefighters, some in helicopters, saved the day and the town. The new government of Sudan said today it is breaking up the state security apparatus and rounding up supporters of the old regime. Among those reportedly arrested is the first vice president, who was chief of security. Former President Ghaffar Numeri was in Cairo when he was deposed yesterday, and Egypt has offered him asylum. U.S. troops have been holding joint maneuvers in Honduras in case neighboring Nicaragua becomes too unneighborly. And now a new outfit has joined them, some U.S. National Guardsmen. Martha Teichner has the story.
The language is Spanish, but these are Texans, members of the Texas National Guard, spending their Easter in Honduras, at the edge of the most sensitive area in this hemisphere. Instead of going to summer training camp this year, they are the nation's only National Guard unit, taking part in Big Pine 3, the U.S. Army's massive military exercises with the Hondurans.
The very fact these men are here, in sight of the Nicaraguan border, has the effect of sending a threatening message to the Sandinistas.
It is the first time the U.S. military has trained with tanks on Central American soil. The Sandinistas have them, Soviet tanks manned by Soviet-trained crews.
We will be forced to use certain routes, the routes that the Hondurans will want us to use. And they want us to use that because they can pick us off better.
In next week's exercises, the Texas Guardsmen will act as the aggressors, in this case pretend they are Sandinistas moving into Honduras. They have been rehearsing Soviet-style tactics so that the Honduran army can practice anti-tank defense against the kind of assault they could expect from Nicaragua.
They would lead with rows or echelons of armored vehicles, followed by armored personnel carriers also in rows. And as soon as they would break through a certain point, then they would pour masses of people and equipment through the break point and try to wreak havoc in the rear areas.
Sandinista radio stations have been calling the National Guardsmen Texas mercenaries. In fact, the Guardsmen are training in the 130-degree sun to fight for U.S. interests anywhere. But on this day of peace, the implied message to the Sandinistas, the Texas National Guard could well be fighting here. Martha Teichner, CBS News, Camp El Alamo, Las Hormigas, Honduras.
Christians celebrated Easter today, and some did so at the very place where they believe Jesus rose from the dead, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Today's service commemorated the resurrection. The largest service of all was conducted in Rome by Pope John Paul, and Richard Roth reports.
Credo in unum Deum.
The Roman Catholic pontiff celebrated Easter Mass outside before a congregation the Vatican said was 250,000 people strong. The faithful and the curious, the crowd so large it filled the 300-year-old plaza and spilled beyond it, people standing shoulder to shoulder in the streets around St. Peter's. John Paul led the religious ceremony for 2 hours before climbing to the Loggia of Benedictions, where a pope's words are intended not just for the community of faithful, but for all the people of the world.
A blessed Easter in the joy of Jesus Christ, the risen Lord and Savior of the world.
He called this Sunday a time to remember the World War that ended 40 years ago, the massacres on battlefronts and in concentration camps. And he said it is painful to recognize that 4 decades later, peace is still elusive in a world where human rights are violated, where there is violence, oppression, and starvation. The Pope said it is a special responsibility for youth, a difficult but exalting task, he called it, to help change the world by changing human hearts. For Roman Catholics, Easter is the center point of the calendar of the Church, but even at the Vatican, its observance today in tradition and pomp also marked a celebration of the changing of the seasons. Richard Roth, CBS News, Rome.
Your days go by fast. Your work never seems to end.
That's why Whirlpool dishwashers are designed to make your world a little easier. Our Power Clean Energy Saver dishwashers are easy to load, have the power to clean up almost anything you dish out, and are energy efficient. Whirlpool, quality appliances.
Whirlpool makes it easier for you.
Look, you want the best computer system for you. If the monitor's made by one company, the printer by another, the plotter by a third, that's great. But what do you do about service? Easy. Choose your system at Computerland. Our worldwide system protection plan assures you that everything will work, or we'll fix it. We fix it right here. After all, it can't be the best system for you if it doesn't work. Computerland, the one thing to know about computers.
The Major League Baseball season starts tomorrow, and in Cincinnati, Pete Rose's Reds take on the Montreal Expos to open a season that may well be Rose's last as an active player. Baseball is a young man's game, but we call to your attention some activity involving guys a lot older than Pete in St. Pete, Florida. When that April with its showers pitter-patter, a sound there is of bola hitting batter.
Then cometh with the season certain joys when men with baseball caps become as boys. Why such behavior? No one really knows. And yet, by any other name, a rose would never somehow ever smell as sweet as the rose of this last summer known as Pete. Pete! Age, we all have heard it often said, is something we imagine in our head. To illustrate my last remark, in Florida there is a park, a club there is, among the softball clubs, the name of which is simply Kids and Cubs.
Straight! What's the fly ball?
And here, though long of tooth and hair so gray, here it is the boys of summer play.
Don't look at the ball, you got him.
First baseman is Bill Walsh. You think that you could play like him when you are 82? Yet the fun of playing ball has never faded.
It's just the same as the major leagues. Guys they either want to play steady or be traded.
When a player gets to this point, to this senior stage, he doesn't mind the PA person mentioning his age. For the Kids and Cubs, it's part of the accepted pregame etiquette.
Titus 76 from Stamford, Connecticut.
There's a catcher in the Kids and Cubs whose popularity is based at least in part on that his age is 93. To say that he's a leader is to understate the case. He leads the other players and he sets a torrid pace.
Attention! Right, left, pace. Forward march. Left, right, left, right. 175. We're the boys of Hawaii. Hi-ho, let's go. Rah, 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 75.
Wait till next year, players say. They say that every fall. But this is spring. Next year is here. That time again.
Play ball.
And may your team get off to a great start and go all the way this year. I'm Charles Osgood. I'll see you on the radio.
Nobody sweats the details like GM.
When a hurricane this strong hit Houston, Houston found out you need an insurance company this strong behind you. Within hours, an Aetna task force was coming, over 100 strong, from round the country, assigned to the hardest hit, paying 1,000 claims a day and more, going the extra mile to put the people, the companies, the schools back in business.
Aetna, we're glad we met you.
Wham! Live from Peking, an IQ test. How important are they? Tomorrow on the CBS Morning News.
Watch it in the morning. Use it all day.
This is CBS.
Hello, Phil.
Barney, where are you? I'm out of salmon.
I know.
I'm out of cod.
I know.
Barney, I'm out of squid.
I know, Phil. Turn on KIRO News Radio.
Barney, I need fish, not news.
Bill, I've got a fine kettle of fish for commuters today.
When you want to know, first, turn to us. KIRO News Radio 71.
Datsun by the truckload, so many that this weekend we'll even pay you to buy a new Datsun. Imagine even the scarce 300ZX. You pay down up to $2,500 in cash or trade, and we'll match it. Your $2,500 and our $2,500, you've got $5,000 down. That means low, low payments. Rather have a 200SX? Put down up to $1,500 in cash or trade, we'll match it. Come see us this weekend, and we'll make you a matching down payment offer on every new car in stock. This weekend, get 8.8% financing on every new Nissan pickup. You can call us Datsun or Nissan. You can definitely call us the import dealer really willing to deal.
Isn't it sad? You gotta give up the best part of the salad when you're watching your weight. Well, now, there's new Good Seasons Light, the zesty dressing with only 1/3 the calories of regular because you use less oil. Mix it up fresh for all that Italian herb and garlic taste. All that taste, but fewer calories. So go ahead, pour on new Good Seasons Light salad dressing. Pour it on. Pour on the taste of Good Seasons Light.
KIRO, the news specialists.
Here's looking at you kids, tomorrow's crew kids. We know you're gonna go far. We love your charm and your style, your sparkle and smile. 'Cause it's kids like you who make us what we are.
Here's to the most important people at McDonald's, our crew.
You make it a good time.
And here's to the kids of tomorrow.
For the great taste of McDonald's. Reunity, it tastes so fine. Reunity, pure and natural wine. Reunity on ice. Reunity so nice. Reunity. Reunity, it tastes so nice. Reunity so refreshing and light. Reunity, Reunity.
Introducing Reunity Spumante. More taste than champagne.
Cheddar. Mozzarella. Swiss. American. Monterey Jack.
The great cheeses of America are on parade now at your grocer's dairy case. March on down and enter the Great Cheeses of America sweepstakes. You could fly free on American Airlines for life.
There's a name welcome at millions of stores.
Will that be cash or charge, ma'am?
Visa.
It's used more than any other for shopping, travel, entertaining, and cash.
Think Dad would like this? I'm sure he would, honey, but...
Few things are more helpful than Visa.
Why don't we put it on my card?
It's all you need.
Sunday, murder at a glamorous resort becomes Jessica's toughest case ever.
I'd hate to look foolish in front of the police.
Ken Howard and Linda Pearl join Angela Lansbury for Murder, She Wrote. Then on Crazy Like a Fox...
These guys are goons with scars on their face.
Harry's avenging the guy who got the goods on The Godfather.
You're not thinking of going after the mob, are you?
A classy thief tricked into working with a streetwise crook, and the cops...
I'm gonna break your neck. Now wait a minute.
Billy D. Williams and Ken Wall, Double Dare, premieres Wednesday, April 10th.